之前，你不曾拥有姓名。冲向终点的路很长，但谁也无法预知结局。有人前倾暗影，谋而后动；有人拼尽全力，克敌机先。没有对与错，只有速度是唯一的答案。奔跑吧，在到达终点之前。
All right, and welcome back to some more DPC action. Still in the Division 1. We're not going back to Division 2 today. We're keeping it top-notch, keeping it S-class, as the ticket for Chinese Dota says. And this time we've got ourselves Vici up against LGD. I am joined by my very handsome, very muscular, very awesome, amazing, passionate, all those adjectives and compliments. And well, it's Neff and it's Lizard. Guys, well, more so Lizard, because Neff, we've already seen you today and we've heard from you, but we'll go with Lizard first. We'll come back to you, Neff. Lizard, how you doing? You're looking spiffy. You're looking good.
Don't skip over, Neff.
We're going back to
Thank
him.
you, Lizard.
Like, it's you, the Neff, then me. I can see it. I can see these three pictures on the screen.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right. I'll go back. All right. Neff, handsome,
Come on.
passionate, amazing. How you doing?
Teehee. I'm doing great. Now that you've asked, I had Lizard here with me. He talked me up just before we ended up going live. Thank you very much for that one, Lizard. He is frozen, so now I'm all you've got. All right, he's unfrozen. I was about to say I'm all you've got now, B-Cop, but Lizard is still here. Lizard,
I'm here, I guess.
Yeah, we cast very little together with each other recently. Isn't that right?
Yeah, very little. And by the looks of my camera, like,
We're losing him.
Uh-oh. He's on life support.
Yeah.
We
can
should all
fix
just...
this, though.
Neff, me and you should freeze frame in solidarity. Go.
I feel like they're paying us to move, though.
Yeah, they are paying us to move and talk and do things.
We get ourselves in trouble before the match even starts. There might be a little bit of a delay for this one, right?
A little bit. Right now, it's just all of Vici in the lobby. Just waiting on LGD. Usually, they show up as like all five. They are in a party, I guess. They just kind of join the lobby and do their thing. But ooh, all right. Now coming in 1080p, looking even more handsome than before. All right,
It's unfair to the rest of us, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I think we should all refresh in solidarity.
like look at you two guys. Like, you're amazing. What are you talking about? Like, please, with this.
True.
Oh, see, VMix knew he was lying, so it froze, so he couldn't tell us that we were looking handsome.
No, he's got the brains, he's got the MMR, he's got the looks. If he had good internet too, he'd have too much. So
yeah, we have to take something away from him. We can't just let him have everything. It wouldn't be fair.
I'm just not in the chair, seeing with my throat,
just constantly moving.
It works. Can you guys hear me? You can, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is fine. Like, I can see my camera as well in the upper left corner moving. It's just that it's fine. Enough about me. Talk about the teams, guys. It's an important match.
It is a very important match. LGD, Vici. I don't want to cut you off, Neff. It sounded like you were going to give a seminar on how good this match was going to be. So I know I'm currently in the leftmost camera, but that doesn't mean you can't take it away right now. Let me hear.
Go for it, B-Cup.
I just transitioned to you taking it away. You take it away.
I insist.
All right. Well, it sounds like he got a little further away from his camera there. I think we might show back up to cameras and he might just not be there anymore. It sounded like he went to close his door or something like that. But we are getting a look at these teams. Not gonna lie, Faith Beyond looking even more handsome. Xiaoma showing on the flex right there. Victoria back in action. Like, everybody's looking real nice on these teams. I'm very excited for both these squads. Both of them having slip-ups, but also both of them having good victories. LGD slipping up, some would say, to Ehome, whereas Vici, they didn't really slip up. I feel like this was the expected result against Extreme, but for them, that could be considered a slip up. But also defeated Aster. That's a big win for Vici, considering where Aster's been all year round, and Vici still kind of finding themselves throughout this year and finding what they want to do, as now they officially have Yang. It's not Irving anymore. The back problems don't matter anymore because it is Yang. And well, you could see here they're trying to get it done, and they are showing off the strength, showing off the looks of a full squad. We take a look here at LGD, and look at this: cool, calm, collected, confident. Faithbeyond's got he's got a hair summer going on. He's got a lot. He's got the looks, right?
Absolutely. I'm impressed with you today, B Cup. I'm gonna be honest. I was expecting you to come on this one incredibly biased with PSG.LGD. So far, that has not been the case. You've been a great host in the small time that we've had here for this PSG.LGD game.
Just give him time, Nat. It's the first couple of minutes when they.
Come on. Do I get any slack?
No, absolutely not.
He's already wearing the PSG.LGD socks. You know, like give it a minute or two. Here's gonna come a jersey. You know, PSG.LGD. He's gonna put on a jacket as well. PSG.LGD, a cap. He probably has it. PSG.LGD. Don't worry. Just give it some time.
Production, could you keep it on like these screens for like 2.5 minutes? I could totally arrange this to get into a jersey, a jacket, and I don't have a hat or anything, but I could get into that.
By the way, B-Cop, I don't know if you can speak Russian now, but you're in the Russian channel. So, давай, my bratan, come to English.
Okie dokie. Sure. I thought I wasn't sure if there was going to be another person joining, but I'll come over. I got you.
We've lost our main observer, in fact.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't in there. I was trying to. I was trying to figure it out. I didn't want to like just jump in or anything like that. But yeah, I feel like they're giving me time by keeping these screens up. I almost want to make the chance and go for the jersey, but I can't risk it. I have too much anxiety to go make the jump and then have just a camera screen or me switching shirts in the background. I've already been caught sleeping on the broadcast before. I can't, have any more slip ups. I was given one strike, and new season or not, that's all I get. That's all I'm allowed to earn here.
Yep.
It's like vacation days. It doesn't roll over.
Everyone has to leave the broadcast slot and then let Todas join it. Otherwise, he doesn't have control of the camera, by the way.
Okay, I just left.
I left.
Okay, cool.
So
Frozen for you, it's not, right?
It was for a moment, and still is.
Sure.
Technical difficulties here on our end. I'm not sure if the actual Twitch stream is frozen out. We'll probably figure that one out in a second.
I'm not sure, but it does look like there is no movement. There it is. I feel like they were giving me time. I feel like that was exactly what they were doing, and I
you did ask for the 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I think they gave it to me, and I didn't have the confidence to switch. I didn't hear a yes or anything like that, so I'm still, I'll come back after the next game. We'll see. There will be a quick little, there will be a switch, outfit change. I'm like, what's his name? McJagger. I make a bunch of outfit changes during the broadcast. This is already my second outfit of the broadcast. I was in something else before. McJagger, he switches outfits like 8 times.
Yeah, that's true. You want to switch your outfits. I want to switch my PC as well. So we're going to get some time, I hope, in between the games just to quickly do that. But, man, I'm extremely hyped for the next series. The suit on. It's no longer just the shirt. It's like full getup. I think that this is one of... there's PSG.LGD versus Aster as well.
Mm-hmm.
But this is probably one of the best series in the region, especially now with how well Vici Gaming has improved. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Vici looking better, especially once they picked up Yang in the last tour. Obviously, that kind of came to a weird standstill when it was stand-in, like, amount of games that they were allowed to use or whatever with Irving. Very fun set of rules that obviously hurt some teams, but now they're here. They're legit. They've got Yang. They're ready to go. We're all in the lobby. I feel like we're so close to a draft, but we are so close we can almost taste it. What heroes are you thinking are going to come your way? What are you looking for the most? What are you tasting in this moment?
Which one of us? Me?
Both of you
Start with
guys
me?
talk at the same time. I want you to talk over each other and make
absolutely.
it hard to listen to.
Tiny.
Wanna see Coddle
Dawnbreaker.
I'm done with this Coddle hero. Coddle is out. Marcy is in. I want to see more
Treant.
Marcy. It's nonstop action. You want Treant? Treant's boring here.
Treant. 100%. It's not about boring, man. It's about winning, right? It's about winning games.
Not about having fun.
No, nobody cares about having fun. I guess if you're PSG.LGD, you could, but usually people don't. I was just reading, there was this interview with Mourinho, right? And they asked him, you guys won, but the enemy team had 95% possession of the ball. And his answer is, yeah, we won. They can take the ball home if they want, like I don't care. They can keep it. So it's the same here. You pick that tree, you heal your towers, you hide in the trees. Is it fun? 100% it isn't. Does it get the job done? 100% it does. So I expect the hero.
I have a question for you, Lizard.
Mhm.
Based on your Pudge experiences in the last 24 hours, what are you expecting in terms of Pudge in this series? Anything we've seen Ame Pudge in the past? Is it back?
I wouldn't mind. I think Pudge is a pretty legit position 1. I would love to see it. Will we see it? I'm not sure, but I do believe that teams will become braver and braver on picking that hero as position 1.
I'd be happy to see it. Neff, do you feel the same? Pudge, position 1. Are you a man of the people who wanted Pudge?
I've seen position 2 Pudge. I'm not sure if you managed to catch the TSM versus Quincy Crew game. Brylan ended up playing that one over the mid lane. Did not end up winning, but it almost came back before one unfortunate play ended up happening. I think this hero could be running a lot of places with how good Flush Heap is now. The fact that the thing blocks so much damage is insane. It ends up farming very fast because of it. It fixes so many problems that the hero has. I think that you can definitely pick around it, but it is an issue. I'm not sure if I believe in the position 1 Pudge. 2, 3, and 4 I think is pretty good. People have been talking up the carry Pudge, but until I see it with my own eyes in games that I choose to actively watch, I don't believe in it.
No. Well, we'll have to see if it does in fact get picked. We have ourselves a draft. We'll shift our way into it. The screen will swipe, and then all of a sudden we'll be in the draft when it is time. And it's looking like it's pretty close. So in just a few seconds, we'll be there and we'll give you your answer, Neff. Will we see the Pudge? There it is. Look at us. Off to the races. Dawnbreaker, first pick. Blizzard, how do you feel about this hero?
Yeah, she's just a scary Thai lady. Overall, when I say Thai, I mean not nationality, but the ties. Big ties.
Thai lady, yes.
Exactly.
That's the accent there for sure. Almost got you in hot water.
Yeah, she's really strong. I love her. I love her on offlane. I love the Aghanim's build. She's very flexible as well. Like Neff was saying about Pudge, it's same with the Dawnbreaker. She's played all over the place, on 4, on 1, on offlane. I like her on offlane the most with the Axe build, but there are some different things, like you build that Shard plus Blink, you jump in with a Starbreaker. There's Echo Saber, Dazzle builds for right-click damage. They're all viable. I still like her on the offmost.
A big fan of it. I just like how tanky she is, and the fact that she can farm elsewhere on the map and then be able to initiate in team fights. She has a ton of utility for that one. It's the same sort of thing as Mars, where it's almost always going to be useful in some capacity, which I really like about it. They pick up the Viper, but they don't pick up something immediately after here. B-Cop, and in my opinion, picking up a Viper first is a little bit weird, but this is a Chinese region staple. The Viper and is it Pangolier? The Viper and Tusk offlane.
Now, how you feeling about these first 2 picks for both teams, Neff?
I'm liking it for the side of VC. I mean, as far back as like Perfect World League, where I started paying more attention to the Chinese region, the Viper and Tusk was like a staple. Like there's so much kill potential between the two. There's so much slow here. There's gap close. If they choose, like, even once they start rotating like out of the lane, or once you secure yourself an early advantage for the Viper, he's able to do things by himself. He move over to the mid, gank lanes, be a nuisance inside the jungle. I think it's a solid opener that can play into most things, and it's not that easy to counter. I hate that Lizard was right, though. This Keeper of the Light ends up getting picked up on the side of PSG.LGD. I thought we'd seen the end of this hero, but it is as popular as ever, unfortunately. Do you think this will be run mid?
Potentially. I know nothing to say is very versatile on the heroes that he likes. So it just becomes a question of whether or not they want to secure it there. I will say though, we've seen Dawnbreaker in the off lane quite a bit, and it does make me a little bit worried if they were to just pick two cores like this, 1-2 out of the gate. I guess the same thing could be said for Vici here too, whether or not they want to
Yeah.
play like Viper mid and Tusk off lane, or Viper off lane, Tusk 4. Like they have options, or even hasn't it been popular elsewhere? The Viper 5 we've seen.
Yes, and that was even running like NA and SA every so often. It was getting popular for a while because Poison Attack was just so good.
Yeah, I've been really interested in to see, like, maybe Vici have even brought us our 1-2 here with Jauma and Victoria on these 1-2 punches with this Tusk Viper. If for all you guys, by the way, who don't know who Jauma 123 is, that is the artist formerly known as YDS. You may know him as YDS. I believe YDS had come from CDEC prior to his seasons with Vici, and now he's going by Jauma 123 because I know there have been other Jaumas in the region as well. And then Victoria is the 5, and you guys might know him from his earlier iteration of LGD. So just trying to get those maybe less popular names out there a little bit more. But those two guys, they've looked really good. YDS especially. I know back when YDS was playing with CDC, you know who was big on YDS? Kips. She really was high on YDS. And for the right reasons. Jauma has, again, YDS, Jauma has really found a place with this team, and I think he's looked really good. Maybe not the best. It's hard to beat the likes of Bobica in the 4 position or Shinkyu in the 4 position. Like, it's hard to stand out, but he's certainly done really well.
What was that Kips liked about Jama's gameplay the most?
I think it was his game, like his style, his aggression, and how he was working well with CDC, because it felt like he was the playmaker for them.
Well,
so I wonder if that was the case.
If this is Jama playing on the Tusk, it's an excellent hero to be a playmaker and to be aggressive on. You can make a lot happen with this hero.
Yep, I do totally agree.
So it'll be interesting to see how he chooses to play this one. Last ban coming out here ends up being the Pango. So they've gotten rid of the Morphling. One of the few heroes that's able to survive the aggression coming out from this Viper in the Tusk in the safe, if they choose to run this into the 3 and the 4. Of course, being able to like waveform out or be able to, switch attribute shift enough HP back up in order to get to the tower. Just run the hell away from these guys is essentially the only way out. Same goes for like Pangolier. It plays pretty well around the Viper and the Tusk. It doesn't shut down the Pango, and you struggle to gap distance against a hero like Lina. And I guess what their next pick is going to be, because this next one is going to reveal the majority of what's happening on the map. I think you just go for a Spirit here, but I feel like the Spirits aren't that amazing against mid Keeper of the Light. They struggle quite a bit.
And again, that is to say, if Keeper of the Light is going to be over mid, for nothing to say, I guess that's the feeling with what we've seen in recent history with Keeper of the Light. We've really seen Kato have his struggles, though, here in China, and that's the thing that kind of makes me a little bit worried. I would say that Nothing to Say does feel like one of the better mids, if not the best mid in the region, going up against XM, who is up there as well. So it definitely feels like this is going to be hero matchup based, right? Like it's going to be very important to get the proper matchup. And XM, he had his moment to prove himself when he stood in for LGD at Dream League Season 11. That was really what brought him kind of on the map. So to have him here now and really playing in this Div 1 does show a lot to where he's been and what he's been doing. And I think he's kind of feared a little bit.
Pico,
Yes.
of all the heroes that I mentioned when I is the odd one out of all those heroes. Like, this meta has already become so predictable, don't you think? Don't you guys think so? Like, all these heroes,
You could,
yeah.
listen. You could at least pretend that the meta isn't stale, and pretend to be surprised by some of these
2
picks
weeks
coming
in.
in. Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you are right though, Lizard. I do really agree. Like, it does feel like things have been. I mean, it's that early. Do you think it's early meta?
And
Like,
it's
fear of experimentation.
exactly. I don't think that it's stale. I think that at it completely right now. There's still a lot of unexplored stuff, and they're just sticking with what everyone is picking across across all regions. And it looks like it will be nothing sick. Like, this should be your offlane Dawn, most likely offlane Dawnbreaker for 5, Kotl mid. That's probably the simplest way to lane this, right, for PSG.LGD.
Yeah, it's probably the way that it's going to be laned, and at least that's what it's looking to, unless they wanted to do something a little bit different. I know Ame likes to try a thing out here or there. I don't think any of these 4 heroes are something that Ame is going to like test, but it would be interesting to see. Maybe Faith Beyond goes to the Phoenix. We've seen that every now and then, and they throw like Y on the Dawnbreaker. I could see that switch being made. But it seems pretty straightforward, right? Dawnbreaker 3, Coddle 2, Hoodwink 4, Phoenix 5, because Innocence really does love his Phoenix. And then on the other side, Vici, I have a lot more faith in Vici when Erica's not playing Wraith King. We had that conversation a lot, Tour 1, and I do really love Erica when he's on something else. And I like this draft. I like this lineup. It kind of, to me, maybe even screams Erica gets something to fight with early, like a Maelstrom, and Vici go off to the races to try and make something happen and get ahead of LGD, because LGD kind of know how to handle aggression, and maybe Vici are trying to beat him at that game.
So, despite the fact they know how to handle aggression, go for the aggression anyways, because
fight fire with fire, because fight fire with fire. Like, LGD play aggressive. They know how to play against aggression. I mean, if you told me LGD know how to play against something, it's pretty much everything, right? Like
there it is. There's the bias. Well, that's not even bias. I think that's just facts at this point.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah,
continue. I'm just saying, like, you beat them fire with fire. I think a lot of teams let LGD off the hook, and they don't really try to play too fast. But Viper and Tusk, like, that seems like level 6 fight, right?
Yeah, it does. The Viper, the Tusk, even the Dream Protector, tons of strength at your level 6. Overgrowth is a crazy strong ability.
Even the Jug, right?
Pretty well in your lane too. Yeah.
I like Vici Gaming's draft overall. They're very aggressive very early on, and you have this Jug to deal with, to somewhat deal with the egg. Meanwhile, when you look at PSG.LGD, they're so elusive. That's probably the best way to put it, right? Like, they have global presence with the Dawnbreaker,
that's
with the
one
Nature's
word
Prophet. Yeah.
This is a miserable lineup to play against. I would not enjoy this game.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. But eventually, as a Jug, I feel like you can do well, right? If you get your items online. What do they pick in the end? They need something, I don't know, something like an Ember Spirit to deal with. Okay, Bat instead. It's pretty good versus Prophet, right?
It's okay. You don't have the flying vision anymore, like you used to be able to catch him out in the trees with Firefly. That was one of the reasons why he was a better counter to Nature's Prophet in the past, but he's still pretty good. Your natural boot's a travel builder. You can kind of follow him around and catch him out. It's a decent answer. Not the best, it's decent.
So mid Viper, off lane, Bat Rider, and that Bat Rider is going to be up against the Nature's Prophet. Yeah. So I'm on something a little bit different.
I don't know. I still think that in the lanes, Bat is pretty solid. Like, later on, perhaps the catch potential isn't as great, but early on, it's definitely there. We'll see how it works. I do like what Vici Gaming have got, but I feel like PSG.LGD, they're more in the meta. Like they're modern. This draft feels more modern. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think that Nature's Prophet also, that pick kind of senses that Vici want to play fast, and Prophet can play pretty quick given the right items and a decent lane. Like, I think it allows him to get to fights early enough. Wrath of Nature level 6 is a good solid team fight early on. Like, I think OGD, they kind of made this audible. They didn't go to something that wants to sit back and farm for Ame, which he does a lot with, say, the Monkey King. Goes Battle Fury into Ags and waits and waits and waits to get that gold. But now he's here and he's going to be trying to fight with that Nature's Prophet. So we'll see how it ends up going. But we get some predictions from you guys. Neff, Vici, LGD, who do you think is going to win?
As annoying as PSG.LGD's draft is to play, I think the Treant Protect will enable them to be defensive enough and heal up the towers to punish, or at least deal with his Nature's Prophet gameplay alongside the Bat Rider. So I'm going with VC for this first game.
Okay, and Lizard, who are you thinking? He's got Vici. Are you going the same way?
Nah, I'm gonna go with PSG.LGD. I think they can do it. I think
So
they're
brave.
yeah. It's not. I actually think that these two
It's still alive.
teams look like PSG.LGD lost to Ehome, right, in the last.
mhm.
By the way, nice
Free
shirt,
badge.
Big Cop. I just noticed that. Nice switch up.
I had to do it to you.
I
Had to make a switch up.
I'm gonna go with that shirt. That's it.
That's the LGD that looks like he's going to go for. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for a good game of Dota. If I say LGD, there's going to be a thread, bias cop. It's just going to be there. So I'm just looking for some good fashioned Dota. And well, hopefully we get that here between LGD and Vici. We're going to send it into the game where we're going to be ready to go and get ourselves some good fashioned Dota. Let's see what we can do here, guys.
I am excited for this one. LGD, despite being 1-1, with the rest of the region, I imagine was it to see some interesting stuff. I want to see more Dawnbreaker. I want to see what they do with Dawnbreaker specifically. I don't think it'll be that unique. I mean, in our interview that we just ended up having with Kaka, he said that everyone kind of plays the same in this patch. Everyone has similar ideas. With PSG.LGD, in previous seasons, we've seen them just a little bit ahead of the curve. They did the most innovative stuff. Do you think they'll continue to innovate, Lizard, or do you think they'll play a little bit safer given they've dropped a map?
I mean, for Vici Gaming, they can't. They have to force everything. But for PSG.LGD, like, do you even care at this point?
Oh, right, because they've got the DPC points, is what you mean.
Exactly. Like, you can have as much fun as possible, enjoy the game. I think, like, when you're in a position such as this one, it's not as important to grind as it is to have fun. Like, just have fun. I swear, it's so
whoa!
important.
You just did a 180 at the beginning of the game. You said that the fun didn't matter. It was all about winning. Hold on here.
There are. This is like that one example that proves the rule. Like,
Okay.
here you can do it. In a game such as this one, you can do it. I do like the fact that Vici Gaming is completely switching up the lanes. This is super important. I mean, one of the reasons why this Prophet was picked is to kind of negate the Viper factor in the laning stage, and now they dodged it. So I mean, it was to be expected though, right? Like, you knew that this Yang on his Bat Rider will be annoying you on the safe lane. You knew he was coming.
Were you expecting? Well, when I saw these two heroes picked alongside each other at the beginning, because the Viper and the Tusk is so common inside the Chinese region, I thought they'd be the 3 and 4. So you definitely have a lot less kill potential with the Bat Tusk than you would the Tusk Viper. And I don't even think that Viper's that amazing against the Keeper of the Light in the mid lane, just because this hero, plays from so far back and has so much movement speed. You'd never actually be able to run him down.
I mean, you can't approach the lane as a Kotl as well. And even just the corrosive skin gives you magic resistance on Viper. So it's not as bad as you might think. You will not, how to put it, you will not be owning the Kotl, but the lane isn't hard for Viper. It's not one of those heroes that should be completely ran out of the lane with Illuminate Blast spam, right? So
Yeah, like a lot of other heroes would. But I have a cookie cutter question for you then. Objectively, as far as net worth goes, who's going to have the advantage at, say, 7 minutes between the Viper and the Coddle?
It depends how many stacks Kotl gets. Like, let me. It's a cop-out answer, but it's. I mean, it's Dota. You can't really predict these things.
I gave you a cookie cutter question. You give me a cop-out answer.
Oh, it should
Fair
be.
enough.
It should be a Kotl if he manages to make enough stacks. Like it's always like that. They haven't blocked anything for him. I have a mean question for you, however, as we're starting with this. Is Nature's Prophet cosplaying with 4 iron branches build? Like, is that what it is? Like, you're master of the trees, you build the branches.
Oh yeah, he's a powerful role player in this game. I can see. I mean, this is just the meme. The less meme answer to this one is that people just go stats at the beginning of the game, and I guess they wanted a Blightstone as well. It's just what people do at the moment. But I do like the cosplay theory better. That's my headcanon from now on.
Thank you for making me understand that it's not just the role play here. Mid lane is crazy. Nothing to say. Just running from XM. They wave at each other. Sure, man. Like it's as a Kotl, you can't approach this hero. Like, you cannot get close to the Viper. If you do, you're just gonna die. So he's managing to keep his distance for now.
Oh my! He didn't get a single last. Wait, he got like one last hit on that creep wave there on the Keeper of the Light. The rest of it just got denied by XM. That's actually pretty sick.
He's a
That's due to the Illuminate change too, right? Like it doesn't do enough damage to the range creep. Like the damage has been lowered. It gives that opportunity to XM to kind of get those denies, right? Like this lane's a little bit more difficult for nothing to say. That being said, though, he's 16-1, so it's not like he's exactly losing out completely in terms of CS numbers.
Yeah,
but he will be behind on XP because you still have 3 creeps standing right now. Viper will be close to level 5 off of this one, so XM's playing this about as well as you can. If you do this well against Stealthy to say, you're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, you just as a Keeper of the Light on mid, you have to approach the creep wave, hit it a couple of times, and then Illuminate Blast on these early levels. Else you're not getting the CS. It will be denied, and that's pretty much how every single Keeper of the Light player plays it. But you can't do it versus some heroes such as Viper. As if you do try, he will just hit you twice and you lose half of your HP. So you're constantly zoned. Keep in mind.
Do you think he's playing a little bit too aggressive or greedy right now, not going for any regen items? Because he's continuing to go straight Boots of Travel right now, and he's sitting at like 300 HP.
I mean, I guess he could get some more regen, but so far he's not really approaching the wave. Why didn't that aggro? What the hell just happened? Never mind. On the mid lane, he was hitting the creep. It still continued hitting the tower. Didn't really aggro at all towards the Kotl. He's like, would I like to see a set of tangos at least on him? Sure, but it is nothing to say. So he knows his stuff. He's keeping close to the tower. He has that health regen.
+1.
+1. Amazing.
True that.
He's behind almost a level on nothing to say.
And he's not stacking for himself as well. That's worrisome. A little bit at least. Yang. Dropping a bit lower, but it's like on this lane it's hard to kill anyone. I believe Ehome should be the easiest one to perhaps take down, but he obviously started with the roleplay build with the branches, so he's tankier than usual, than your classic Prophet.
Yeah. It doesn't get any easier. He's got one of like the highest overall stat growth rates in the game, so he gets tons of HP and armor with each level.
6
What do you guys
already.
think about top lane so far? Fadebian keeping up, like only 3 CS behind.
It seems to be pretty like balanced, right? Like I just saw Faith Beyond try to go into an Erica, but Erica's got the early healing ward. Without the supports, it just seems like a farming lane at the moment, at least from what I've been seeing.
Yeah, and they do have 2 supports that can run through trees as well, so it's Xinkyu can't right now, but he'll be able to. Oh, it's very balanced, symmetrical, some would say even.
Jama is getting run down right now.
And so is Ehome. Ehome is getting burned apart. They get the kill on Xiaoma. Y gets first blood on that, but Ehome gets the kill on Yang before he ends up burning.
That's so worth it. That's so worth it. That's what I was talking about. Batrider overall, what we discussed actually, Batrider versus Prophet, right? It can definitely go in Batrider's favor, but no, that was a slight outplay by PSG.LGD.
You get a lot of XP there. Yeah, the fact that you go down afterwards, he doesn't get any of the XP for getting that kill off of the Nature's Prophet is wonderful. You get closer to your level 6. It does a lot of damage in early team fights if you get a quick 6 on MP.
Trying to search for Innocence, but he's of course got that Icarus dive.
Like all these timings are coming for Innocence in such a nice way, man. Like first he survived on the lane, right? So he's the one that soaked all the experience. He's almost level 5, like one creep pretty much. Now he has Tranquils as well. It's like the dream Phoenix game. He might die here though.
I think this time he might have been caught. XM though, he's the one who's getting caught by nothing to say, and that is a kill for the Coddle over mid. With a little bit of help there from Xingqiu showing up. He didn't get an assist on it. The presence was felt. It was a solo kill by nothing to say.
Yeah, as levels get higher on Kotl, obviously he gets that level 4 Illuminate. Suddenly he hits like a truck, and you have to be extremely careful about your positioning, especially when you're something like a Viper, right? Like you aren't really mobile. You're one of the slower heroes, so if he catches you, you won't be dodging that. I like the fact that he's going for that Atos build on XM, however, it will help them out a little bit with the catch. Plus, he tanks up a bit.
Yep. So you're crazy about it. Just catch on to who? Like the Keeper Light specifically, or Nature's Prophet as well, being able to hunt him down?
I think on anyone really on their side, because yeah, they do have some catch on their side, but it's kind of long cooldown. You can't expect Yang to be using Flaming Lasso every single time, right? It's not that great. And if you think about the Tusk, it's kind of telegraphed. By the time he gets to you, you're already gone. So at least getting something extra on your side will be nice for Vici Gaming.
Oh, NP ulted. It didn't quite finish off Yang. I think that ult ended just before it ended up connecting with them. I definitely would have killed him there, though.
Pretty quiet game overall, though. At least for the moment. Who does that benefit the most?
I think it's hard to say at the moment. Like both of these teams are fine with just farming up. On one side you have Jack, who's going into a Battle Fury, right? So he's not really looking to fight. On the other side you have an NP, and NP isn't what he used to be. This isn't your hero that goes from one tower to another 10 minutes in, right? Like he can actually go to the jungle, get that Maelstrom, get some farm, and then join fights. So I think they're both satisfied with the pace of the game at the moment.
Yeah. I see that Nature's Prophet, Ehome here, he doesn't have a Aghanim Shard queued up as one of his next items. Do you think that's a mistake, or is this common for position 1 Nature's Prophet?
No, I see the shard very often on position 1. I think it's all right. He might get it. He doesn't have it queued up. Doesn't mean that he won't get it. But I hate it when I see players just completely focus on Nature's Call as position 1. You know, just constantly taking those talents and also just thinking about split pushing with the trees and whatnot, and then not joining too many fights. It does happen. Like I've seen it in Eastern Europe as well, when someone isn't as experienced with Nature's Prophet.
I did that all the way up until recently. Then I started going like, depending on the game, if the enemies can clear out my trance really easily, then I'll go the attack speed. I'll go the Wrath of Nature base damage, because you know the plus 30 actually ends up being a lot by the time it adds up.
You hit quite hard. Like that's why the hero is played on 1. Like you're an extremely strong right clicker at some point. So playing Eric.
Nothing to say. He's gone top. So he pushes Erica right off the lane. Like, does this secure the tower for them? Is this exactly what they need to do to kind of shut down Jug? Make sure he doesn't get anything?
Yeah. I'm a little bit surprised right now that Ehome doesn't TP up to the top lane and try to shove down this tier 1 alongside the team. Like, they have the catapult up here. It looks like they're confident they can take this without the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about, right? Like these prophets, they can very often just stay in the jungle, not join the fights, defend mid tier 1. He might get punished here though.
Or Guardian down bottom, Yang in some trouble. They've got the Blade Fury from Erica and the healing ward down, but Yang's not going to survive this snowball over to Xinkyu. But the Icarus dive in, some Fire Spirits being thrown over, the Omni Slash being tanked by Xinkyu, keeping Faith Beyond alive. Also threw out a Supernova on that. So back and forth, and I would say ultimately at the end of the day, it's probably LGD who get the better of that in terms of trades, but at the same time, you use Supernova, you use Solar Guardian. There's a lot used there to protect on that. As top lane, Ame's been caught, and with the Rod of Atos, the damage coming in, there's no chance he survives, and XM gets credit for the kill, and they deny the tower.
I think he didn't have to, right? Like
I don't think he had to.
But he did. And yeah, the Kotl is around. I mean, he didn't have to, really. You do have the Treant Protector. He could heal it up, but it was so low, I guess. It's like, whatever. Let's just let this go. Nice Atos usage instantly on the Prophet, and probably one of the reasons why we don't see Prophets do things like this very often early on. Like, you really want to choose your fights very carefully. I think it was a careful option going top. He saw the huge fight on bottom. He's thinking to himself, yeah, why not go top? And there's no way they reached that fast, but they were really quick with answering that.
Yeah, the brown boots into Atos is one of like the few games that this actually would have happened. And he gets Atos by the Viper like that and then taken down. I think it might have partially been like, okay, they've got this Treant Protector as well. I didn't make the rotation of the top lane earlier. If we put this much like effort into taking this top tier 1, I want to make sure this is secured.
Faith Beyond getting the kill on Najama. I also want to add to that. Do you think that they saw the Rod of Atos available on the Viper, or was that just the debut of it? So not expecting that little bit of
I think he did see it. I think he did see it. He started TPing away very early. It's just that because you also saw the build-up, right? Like you saw the 2 Iron Crowns 5 minutes ago even, so you know that he has it. It's just that he got caught, plain and simple. Like they were a bit quicker to respond to that move. Jug also, by the way, switched up from the Battle Fury into the Maelstrom, so he already has that. And it's kind of similar, right?
I feel kind of like I want to pat myself on the back. That's what I said Erica was going to end up building if they wanted to play this aggression game. I feel kind of proud a little bit. I don't know. Sorry to like,
I want to hug you right now. You know?
Lizard, it was what I was talking about earlier today, at least today for me, when I was like, oh, I finally said something smart. The rest can be dumb. Shards, Snowball, why? Trying to use that Sunray to get away, but there are enough heroes here to make sure that doesn't happen. So Yang gets the kill, and Erica takes the bottom tier 1.
Yeah, they're moving really well, really nicely, and they could transition into some sort of a tier 1 mid push. They have to be careful though. They just used some of their spells, and Phoenix will respawn. He'll have that tag. And they're doing quite all right for themselves so far on the side of Ichi Gaming. They're not being completely destroyed by this global presence of PSG.LGD that can be massive early on. So many games, Prophet plus Dawnbreaker just crushes you early on.
You're gonna run into them here. They do have Lasso available, but walking straight into them, pretty risky. You get knocked back with the Blinding Light or stuck in place with that the Bushwhack if Yang just move forward there.
If he's got Firefly active, where he lands on the Bushwhack, does that burn that tree down?
You mean, yeah, it should. It should.
So it should be like an instant release,
very
right?
often. Yeah, it cuts it very often. So it's not really the easiest hero to play against. Dawnbreaker.
Solar Guardian going up towards top. Xinkyu's not going to survive this. They got the shards on Faith Beyond, but he uses the Celestial Hammer to get over the shards, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. They take Victoria, but they end up losing Xinkyu.
Phoenix is rotating in. They're fighting around this cliff.
Celestial Hammer again. Starbreaker avoided via the Snowball. Now the Rod of Atos, Sunray, Lasso, all out on the Dawnbreaker. Faith Beyond pretty tanky. Supernova, Xiaomo looks right into the sun and burns his body out.
He's very
Faith Beyond
tanky.
killed off.
He's very tanky because of a different build. Like, it's not something that you see very often. A Mage Slayer, first item on the Dawnbreaker.
You know what? This is actually kind of sick against like the Viper and the Batrider.
Yeah, it's amazing, this game, really.
Yeah. I did not see that. Yeah, that's actually super sick, man.
It's just that it's one of those items, like, I feel like if the item is not broken, it's hard to justify buying it first. As there's like BKB, there's Blink, there's a shard that you could get, but definitely I can see it working, because you have the heals from Kotl as well, right? And then if they do not kill you, most likely they won't kill you, as you'll get those Illuminate Blasts to heal you up a bit.
Yeah, you'll get those. I mean, it gives you slightly more magic resistance in the hood now. And a lot of people used to build Echo Saber on this hero just because like the good stats in it and the mana regen allow you to spam your skills. So you can farm faster than thanks to Starbreak, and if you actually hit the heroes with it, like the Mage Slayer debuff is going to do a lot. I actually really like this.
Yeah, 100%. Do you guys notice how many more is in Q bottom lane? Let's notice him getting killed first. Maybe not.
Potentially killed. Use the
shrewdness.
sharpshooter to get over the shards. That was impressive.
Nice one.
He shot it off so quickly. I mean, that is quick fingers.
Are you guys noticing how many 4-staffs are being built now in the game? Way
So
more
many.
than. And I was literally, we were talking about it on the panel a couple of days back, and now it's happening. I mean, it's been happening for a while, but
It was when we talked about the 5 4-staff build. Now Jalma in some trouble, and it's a snowball all the way over to Ehome, but Ame's already got this Mjolnir, so he'll put it on himself, the shield that is, and then go for the right clicks to get the kill on the Jalma. They'll go in with the Solar Guardian. That's right onto the Viper, and then again, we just talked about it, the Mage Slayer. So the spell damage a little bit less. They go into the Omni Slash. That's going to be bouncing around. Goes on a Faith Beyond. Then over to Y, who goes right into the Supernova, but gets chopped in half. It's omelets for Erica, and nothing to say. He falls to Yang. They want to continue to go. They want to try and get Faith Beyond. He's got the Celestial Hammer. He's going to try and juke here, Delta style. And moving over as the Acorn shot bounces from Erica to Yang, but they've got the Nature's Grasp, and Faith Beyond slowed up enough where I think he understands that he's dead to rights and will go after them instead and end up dead to Yang too.
it was a nice attempt to kill off the Viper. As they were killing Tusk, nothing to say catches Viper, and it's so easy to follow up with Starbreaker and ulti from Dawnbreaker, right? Like Solar Guardian when he is slowed by Solar Bind.
BKB, Yang, Ame, caught and killed. Caught, killed very quickly. They do end up losing Victoria, but is that really worth it? It's just why the Bushwhack way off the mark. It felt like it was almost at a triple the ping.
You connected the first Bushwhack with him. It's despite the fact he was Firefly up as well. I think it was one of those rare instances where it didn't end up breaking the tree as he was pulled in.
It doesn't have to break it, right? But it can. It depends. By the way, these BKBs are common. Like, Viper is gonna have his. Batrider already has his.
Great Bushwhack and Sharpshooter.
I'm just saying, they're unable to kill these heroes already. It's not gonna get any easier.
Yeah.
They need the damage from Ame, right? But he's getting caught out in these fights. He's dead 3 times already.
Exactly.
I owe these deaths to Mjolnir, man. I feel like you've got the Maelstrom. Yeah, why go for the full Mjolnir? I feel like if you're playing against illusions, it'd be super sick, but this is definitely too much, right?
Maybe a bit too early, but I love Mjolnir on Prophet. I feel like Maelstrom doesn't cut it. I actually love it, but maybe it's too early. Maybe he needed some.
Yeah, but in this economy?
In this economy, yeah, definitely.
In this recession?
The price is inflated.
Yeah, you've seen the markets lately, right, man?
Of course. We've been dooming about it since January, remember?
Been doing about it since last year. We were on it. Well, you were on it.
Here are these graded trains. Despite the fact that he didn't have them queued up, he did build them pretty quickly. I think it came out after Mjolnir, but these things are so useful for shoving out the lanes. It is incredibly annoying to play against when one lane's being shoved by treants. You can constantly resummon the greater treants as well. But
Literally, the greater treants are 108 damage. Are so annoying. The two of them alone can push towers.
yeah, but thankfully they have the treant protector, so the chip damage that you get off onto these towers, which is normally super frustrating, is healed up pretty effectively by the tree.
Here's the BKB for the Viper. XM, he's level 16 compared to Nothing to Say. He's about a level behind. Nothing to Say, of course, we were talking about, went to that 4-staff first. You got Phoenix with a 4-staff. Anybody else? No, just those two, at least for now.
Yeah, the 4 staffs versus the 3 versus the Tusk. Pretty solid here to get rid of the Nether Toxin as well. Get out of that. I think there's a couple of really good uses here. I feel that on Keeper of the Light, it's a core item anyway. Erica bottom lane. Oh, that was. I feel like the only way you catch him there is if you instantly bushwhack. You don't acorn shot. You just try to catch him by the tree, right?
Oh, you tip him off. Mid? Oh, alright, he cancelled. I thought he was
Supernova
teleporting to
was
his
used.
death there.
Up top.
Yeah.
That's not
And the
good.
mid tower, this one's gonna get finished off by XM here. He's confident enough to walk forward like that because he's got this BKB now.
Yeah, and Shauma also has blink,
You're going
right?
Roche.
So you have save.
And they're gonna
They
turn that
feel-
to mid tier 1 to Roshan right away.
Yeah. And they feel really far ahead. Like, the net worth lead only says 1K, but it just feels like the item timings and what they've got, especially like the blink dagger on the tusk, that little thing that feels very strong. And here it is being shown off bottom. Blink in, shards out. There's the snowball as well as the walrus punch. Yang's ready to go. He's got the flame break as well as the lasso. It's not going to be too confident there for Faith Beyond. They're going to send these heroes in, though. They want the Illuminate. Faith Beyond surviving. They get the overgrowth. They finally get the kill on a Faith Beyond, but they're going to lose Jalma? No, not yet, he says. They've got the snowball. Bushwhack comes in. New Supernova. It was used up top. They get the kill on the Jalma. The sharpshooter takes out Yang. They could not save Mr. President.
Two heroes got sniped there, both super far back. They ended up catching this Tusk at the edge of an Illuminate, and they ended up sharpshooting down the Bat Rider as well.
Yeah, the good old Aetherlance, Nothing to Say Keeper of the Light as well coming into play now. It's. Do you guys remember when you had Mana Leak Aetherlance? That was the best thing
yeah.
ever. I
Bring it
loved
back.
this game so much. Like, it was the
The
perfect way
outplay
to
that you
annoy
do on people, the outplay, and they just can't do anything because all of a sudden they're out of mana. It is hilarious. You'd always go 4-staff on the hero then because you just 4-staff the enemies. I miss aggressive 4-staffing. It used to happen way more often.
Same, man. Do you guys think that these kind of changes are, like, I don't know, good or bad? Like,
Bad.
Getting rid of all the annoying things in game. It's like, just let me make people's life hell, you know?
Yes, please. It's the only joy I feel.
Right?
Yeah.
Phoenix. No joy for him, perhaps. Dives out.
He's got the Icarus dive, but does he have the way out? Sunray, TP, Fey Grenade, not enough. There's another 4-staff, this one built by Viper.
Very nicely done by Wido. Like, forces himself out of Nether Toxin and Atos, then uses dive. And Sunrays with the TP. Everything on point.
All of it ended up being just enough. Like, if he wasn't Sunraying as he TP'd out there, you definitely would
He's
have died.
dead, yeah, for sure.
TPing over onto Erica right now on NP.
Yeah, they want to make a move, but they don't get the bushwhack off in time. Erica, though,
He's stuck.
he's got the
stuck.
Not
Aegis.
TP.
I think he's confident with the team nearby. With the Aegis, too.
All right, I mean, he's alive. I'm definitely wrong then.
I was talking about Ame. He was stuck.
Oh.
He was in the trees. He couldn't move. He was trying to right-click the healing ward, but he couldn't get there. He couldn't move. His nature's call was on cooldown. Everything was on cooldown pretty much. He's going to get that level 20 soon. That changes things a little bit for the Nature's Prophet as you get the leash talent, right? It's nice. Plus the BKB that's going to come as that satanic, like the Prophet that was feeding before and dying every single fight. It still can happen. They do have a lot of catch, but it's way harder. Like he's.
Hold on, I have a question. The 100% miss chance for sprouted units, is that Pierce magic immunity?
That's a good question. I'm not completely sure.
I know the sprout leash does. And I ask this because I'm curious if you sprout Juggernaut, does he miss all of his Omni Slash attacks?
They are really just trying to walk forward and get the Omni Slash off. Sword Guardian already used, and the
I feel like
Aegis was used.
I feel like there is no way in hell that happens. Like the team misses, but
Yeah.
I mean, I've been surprised before in this game, so
Yeah.
it's possible, I guess. But I don't think so.
Yeah. I'll test it between games. It sounds like it shouldn't work like that, but you know, Dota's strange sometimes. It works in mysterious ways.
It's a strange cookie, definitely.
Walrus Punch, Phoenix, no chance at a Supernova. Not even sure you really want to get it off in that point because it would have been killed immediately.
Yeah, Jug also has that Mjolnir, so Hyperstone build-up, naturally a lot of attack speed. He destroyed that tag in a matter of seconds.
Yep.
At this point, you see what he's building on Innocence. It's Hex. Like, you get to this point in a game in which you have to either have a Hex or a Halberd if you want to even use your egg ever.
Yeah, this Mjolnir making it even more difficult. This is why he opted to go for this item instead of the Battle Fury. Extra attack speed, be able to just clear out that Phoenix egg instantly if he ever pops it.
I know
think
he's got
it
Scotty
helps.
finished.
Yeah, he and the Skadi full one completed. I think it helps, but it might not be the only reason. Maybe he just wanted to get that Maelstrom, as Battle Fury timing was a bit slower as well. So it's kind of.
Oh boy!
I do like the
Bottom
Maelstrom.
lane.
Yang.
Ehome in trouble. He is being hit with this lasso. They got the Blade Fury right on top of him, and they're gonna get both him and Xingqiu. This is all because of the fact that they wanted to go for Yang. Xingqiu, he has just not been hitting many bushwhacks, throws it out from the trees, misses it, and then the second that happens, Yang turns BKB, sees his team coming down the river, and they go.
Yeah, and most likely the plan was, if they do fight after Bat is dead, we do have Solar Guardian, right? So we can commit, we can come in, we can help. There's global presence, there's travels on the Kotl. Like, there's many ways to connect to that fight, but the moment Prophet is caught, you just have to back off. It looks weird, right? Like, that fight looked like something of, why are they doing this? It's next to tier 2, they're gonna get punished. But when you think about it, they just have so much presence.
Nothing to say. Caught between two heroes here.
And the Omni committed to this. They're gonna get that kill and get Xingqiu just TP'd into that and just died very quickly. Exactly.
It's so true. I was just about to say, it feels like Xingqiu just feels off this game. He's not been able to make much happen on this Hoodwink. I mean, other than that one snipe shot from the Bat Rider. The bushwhacks come out a lot of time after the Acorn shots when he's been trying to jump Juggernaut. Gameplay just feels a little bit slow.
You guys think that we've seen enough Hoodwink right now that every single carry that has a Quelling Blade should be able to cut down the tree instantly? I feel that we're in that point. Like, Acorn should never catch you. If it's, at least if it's casted, if you have the before the bushwhack, you know.
Yeah, if you have the Aether Lens,
okay.
yeah, if you have the Aether Lens, you can bushwhack then Acorn shot, right?
That's fine. That's fine. Like that you cannot stop. But if it's casted before, 100% it's on you. I mean, overall, I think it's in this game, it's not that easy to catch someone with a bushwhack.
Yep. Everyone's carrying well, we had Quelling Blades on a couple heroes for that reason. I mean, Jama's still carrying one, but I suppose you are playing against a Nature's Prophet as well.
You can fly as a bat, then you have spider legs on Jug, and like, there's just so many ways.
Yep. I mean, he's still got his Quelling Blade on the Juggernaut as well. Be able to get out of these things, the bushwhack and the sprout. But the spider legs are a better solution for that.
One nice thing, if he would have had Battle Fury, he wouldn't have that slot occupied, right? Like it would be there with the Battle Fury, but he decided not to. Still working out so far for them. 4K ahead, not a great lead, but a decent one. Still, the game is in anyone's hands. Like, it's so easy for PSG.LGD to start ratting this.
Feels like they definitely are trying towards that, right?
It's not that easy though, because again, you're playing against his Stream Protector.
BKB early from Yang, but it avoids the sharpshooter, and now they're going to go forward, but they put the Lincolns on a Jingqiu, and Yang, wisely enough, stops the lasso from being placed on that Hoodwink too. However, now Jingqiu on the run, as behind them though is Y getting chased by that Tusk. Jingqiu will be chopped apart by Yang, Erica, as well as Victoria, and that's with the new Swift Slash thanks to the Ags that was minted recently for the Jug.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bash not completed on the Dawnbreaker. Be able to pierce these BKBs and interrupt TBs and whatnot now. But yeah, they definitely want to wrap them. I think they're... It is just super difficult playing against this Stream Protector, and that's another reason why this pick is super good. I think it's like an S tier support right now regardless, but against Nature's Prophet, with this like reworked Aghanim Shard Sprout, spawns a graded trance, it's just even more effective. It completely shuts down the way the NP wants to play.
And the NP isn't building any more damage, right? Hex does definitely add some damage to him, but it's not that extra move.
Yeah.
So it's mostly about the trees. They are setting some things up. You can see the way they're moving in the triangle. Innocence wants to perhaps deep ward. Actually misses it. Okay. He was diving for that ward 100% there, but is this? Yeah, it's just free Roche for DPC Gaming.
With Shard, yeah. And the Shard's going to be given over to XM, which increases the max stacks of poison attack and armor reduction. They'll get nothing to say in a precarious spot, and there's no way to really save him. Ehome just going for the TP, no BKB, and he'll be lassoed. So this is a big problem for Ehome, who's trying to survive, throwing out some right clicks to go after Xiaoma. They get it kill on the Tusk. They look over at Erica with the Blade Fury, but here comes Victoria with that overgrowth. Sharpshooter lands, Gleipnir down. That lands on a couple. They'll take out Ehome post BKB. Starbreaker, no chance to get the kill there, though, as he's got the Split Slash to kill off Faithion. They'll go after Y. They'll take out the Phoenix. Ehome buys back and comes right back in and die again. He has died twice. They called GG, and Vici wiped the floor with LGD.
Man, this reminds me of Invictus Gaming. If you remember last like not the last season, but like 2 seasons ago, after they won the major, they would literally just GG out. A couple of buybacks, and they noticed that the game is far too way out of control, and then they just call it. I actually have to agree completely with Neff and what he said about the split pushes. You have the Batrider, plus you have the tree, plus you have a Tusk with the Blink Dagger. Eventually it just isn't easy. What happened to PSG.LGD? They kind of fell apart all over the place. Too many mistakes, I would say, from all of them, and not something that you expect from PSG.LGD at all. Like, you expect these flawless games, right?
Yeah, never doubted Vici ever. I never had a doubt. They looked good the entire time. Definitely not recency bias cop, I'm telling you.
Did you just switch to a VC Gaming jersey?
No, what are you talking about? I had this on the whole time during the draft in the last game. What are you saying? That's ridiculous. I would never do that.
How did you do that?
He's quick, man. He's very quick.
Okay.
Vici looked really good. They read LGD's game plan, I think, really well, and it was something that we talked about on the draft, right? Fight aggression, or an aggressive lineup like LGD with aggression, and they fought them right on back. Obviously, the first 10 minutes or so, kind of quiet. I think it was 3-1 or whatever by the end of those 10 minutes. But once Vici kind of got their feet in the ground, and you saw the Rod of Atos on the Viper, and they hit that level 6, and they hit that mark where they felt like they could get the lassos and everything, they were off to the races and they did everything right to counter LGD. I mean, Lizard, what was there that LGD could do to even, I would guess, say counter the counter?
I feel that there was just way too many mistakes. It
Hmm.
wasn't about like these two drafts obviously have completely different win conditions and a different play style that you want to be playing. Right, on one side, you want to be splitting them, having this global presence. On the other, you want to be grouping up plus defending as much as possible with the tree. I feel that the Batrider setups that he was making are very obvious, and they're obvious to a team such as PSG.LGD for sure. The question remains, how do you not manage to punish that? Like every time he would catch an NP while he was split pushing, they were setting up for that, and you could see like they would have the Solar Guardian, they would have the travels, but that one extra catch, that one extra bushwhack just wouldn't connect. Maybe that's it. Maybe it was way too difficult for them to actually control these targets easily, right? And once those BKBs are up, you don't have a hex. Did you have a normal stun on their side? You didn't, right? Like you didn't have a normal stun. That's a huge issue.
No stun gaming. It does
Yeah.
not really find itself in an advantageous position. Neff, and the flip side of the coin, what did Vici do right to garner such an advantage and to get an easy victory here in game number 1?
They played against each individual thing that PSG.LGD did pretty well. They dealt with the nature's prophet by getting extra disables in the form of that Rod of Atos early. They had BKB piercing disables in the form of Tusk. They could deal with the ratting by, spamming living armor out. They itemized in a way to be able to clear that supernova super well with that Mjolnir. I feel like they had solutions to every problem that PSG.LGD presented them, and PSG.LGD could not do the same.
Yeah, I think Vici did a great job and a prime example of bringing it to LGD. I mean, something that Ehome's already done. Erica had an amazing game. He's not on the Wraith King. I know I'm still holding on to that grudge from Tour 1, but yeah, he really can shine with heroes like this, like Jug. Certainly something that was like very much in his repertoire when it came to him on Keen Gaming Luminous. I think Erica is certainly one of those guys that, like, with this patch where PL's kind of seeing himself in the mix, Jug's certainly seeing himself in the mix, and they're not just shoehorning him on Wraith King all the time. We're going to see Erica have great performances like this. This is what brought him into the Division 1 is games like this. He farmed excessively well. He was needed when he was needed, and on top of which, he made that slight change to his build early on. You guys called it out. It was Battle Fury to start. He makes the switch. He sees the idea. He goes to the Mjolnir, or well, at that point, the Maelstrom. And I think Erica, his adaptability there was shown, and his ability to get it done. And we see this right here. That TP's gonna, yeah, there it is. Jinq just dying immediately off that Omni Slash. It's just, I thought Erica played a really good game. I think this whole team played really well. And Neff, who for you was the MVP?
That's a hard one. I don't want to say Treant Protector because the Treant Protector. So, you know what? Let's just make it Treant Protector. He played well.
Treant Protector MVP. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. He was like 1 hour ago, he was like the most boring hero in the game. Please get Treant out, remove him from Dota. And now he's like MVP. Let's go, baby. You flip flop with heroes just the way B-Cop flip flops with his shirts and then teams.
I don't know what you're talking about. That never happened. I was always wearing this jersey. But who do you think was the MVP in your eyes, Lizard, if it wasn't the Treant?
If it wasn't the Treant, it could have been perhaps the Bat. Like he had a decent couple of catches, but overall, it's hard. Like I completely agree with Nev. The decision it's hard to make because all of them played together as a team. There wasn't any huge stellar performance by either one of them. Shauma did a lot. He was feeding quite a lot, but he was giving a lot of info as well with his task. But I don't have a slot for the channel.
Gosh, I think that Tusk did a really good job, honestly. Got that blink dagger very quickly, and he started making a couple plays. I think the snowballs extended a lot of these fights and gave Vici a chance to kind of bring their way back. Like that kill score, 2-6-9. Like it's not like an amazing thing to look at, but it did what it needed him to do, especially with the Walrus Punch too. Like his control is really good. I thought Snowball, Walrus Punch, I think he got it done when needed. Also, I again, not a beautiful kill line in 3-1 and 8, but XM had a great time over mid, right? Like I thought he played really well.
He was all right. He got killed once, right, solo, but he controlled the Kotal as much as he could. I still feel that they perhaps should have mounted more pressure earlier on, right, on the side of PSG.LGD, and perhaps the game would have been a bit different for them if they have done that. They haven't. They lost those couple of crucial fights when the BKB timers were about to hit. BKB timers hit, and then suddenly, like that's it. Like they have no ways of killing targets.
Yeah, and it just never really seemed to pan out there for LGD. Vici did a really stellar job game number 1, but it looks like we are going right on into game number 2 with the draft. We got ourselves already going in, and it's what's something that you don't want to see from both these teams. Neff, what if there's one thing you don't want to see in this draft from LGD? What is it?
I don't want to see exactly what happened. I'm a big. I talk up the mental game of Dota all the time, and the fact that PSG.LGD first banned as Viper means that their mental is destroyed this game.
Do you agree with that?
Thoughts on that?
Do you think their mental is destroyed?
I think they're in a good spot. Like overall, PSG.LGD right now, they. Like we said before, DPC points are not that important for them. They can do whatever. Banning out the Viper, it's not about the mental. I feel that you just don't want to play against that, right? It's a beast of a hero. Just remove it. You have what now? You have Kotal, you have Treant left in the pool, Dawnbreaker as well left in the pool. There's just so many options for them. They can pick and choose.
At what point though does that become an excuse, right? Like, is that something like, oh, they've got the points, they can do whatever they want? Like
until TI.
Is that that's what I was gonna say. Like, is that the end all be all now of what they're allowed to just mess up here and get 2-0'd by everybody? As I honestly, good for the region. Bring in more teams to the major. I don't care. Bring more Chinese teams into TI. I'm so down for that. But at the same time, I think a lot of people. I'm waiting for the Reddit thread that just says LGD are washed. They were terrible this season, blah, blah, blah. They'll come in last at TI. Some nonsense like that. But, I mean, when you look at the reality of the situation, they are in. They have qualified, and they're doing what they want with the Winter Wyvern first pick, of all things.
Interesting. I mean, good at resetting team fights, but usually you pick this up as a counter to things, and I don't think it's an amazing counter to the Tiny. He could drop the Winter's Curse beside his teammates if this is run in position 1, but position 1 Tiny has kind of fallen off recently. People are running this more as a support.
Yeah, because this could be Tiny Puck, right? And now you have position 4. Actually, Puck is banned, never mind.
Yeah.
But, like you said, position 4 Tiny is very, very common at the moment. Plus, do you really want to play a Tiny core into Death Prophet and Wyvern? Probably not. I think the motive behind the Wyvern is they're playing something different. It's a different approach, a different draft. Plus, you have the DP. You have not only your reset, you have a save for her, somewhat of a save. It's decent versus Prophet, actually, as you have let it go through. Like, you let the Prophet go through, now you have Splinter Blast against the trees. It's a decent way of defending. Plus, it's a hero that doesn't really care about Sprout, which is also neat. And the Wyvern overall is picking up with the picks. Like, you can see that more teams are playing Wyvern in different regions as well.
Prophet, Tiny, Death Prophet, and Winter Wyvern. Very interesting few picks. Very different from the first game we saw. Neff, who are you thinking has come out ahead with these first 2 picks?
VC with the mental game. And, the Vipers banned out. They pick up the Nature's Prophet despite the fact that PSG.LGD just ended up losing with it. They say, hey, let me show you how this is done. You guys are washed. Wait till you see the Reddit thread later. You have no idea what you're doing. We're going to own.
Okay. You agree with that, Wizard?
Do you agree with that, B Cop?
I don't know.
I
It
was just trying
depends.
to set Peacock off.
It depends what shirt I'm wearing at the time.
I have a feeling he has both of those shirts on, and then he just switches. He just takes one off in the middle.
Don't
Is
give
that
out the secrets.
Is it a secret? Yeah,
That's
I
a
got it.
yeah, that's an industry secret right there.
Plus, it makes him look a bit bigger. It's like
Definitely
he's got
true.
those muscles.
Yeah, it's cheating. You wear a little bit of a tighter shirt around the arms, but not around the chest, and all of a sudden, yeah,
All
you're
my
not
shirt,
wrong.
all my shirts extra S, man, extra small. That's it.
I'm learning from the best.
Oh. Nice timber band, by the way, from Vici Gaming. Would be pretty solid versus both of these heroes, and is picking up when it comes to like some games that I have been watching. Timber has done exceptionally well, especially versus I don't know, Tiny and Pudge cores. Does make sense. I would like to see perhaps if this DP is mid, right, for PSG.LGD. If this is nothing to say, which it just might be,
Mhm.
maybe some sort of Alina on the side of VG Gaming on mid lane wouldn't be that bad. I don't like Nature's Prophet and Lina perhaps on those 1 and 2 too much, but it's a solid laner against the DP at least.
What do you think of Pudge being picked up here now on the side of VG?
I think Prophet is most likely one, right, for them. Do you guys think that Erica will be playing something else? Like Nature's Prophet doesn't strike me as the Erica hero, but he can definitely play it. He's done it before. I think Pudge, perhaps there are some like percentage-based abilities on the side of PSG.LGD, so the Pudge wouldn't be as amazing, but it's still really solid.
Does the Life Drain even hurt Pudge?
I mean, you have Arctic Burn as well, right? There's that, but
Yeah.
But overall, I'm a big believer in a Pudge, so I just want to see that hero.
Ooh,
1,
Sand King.
2, or 3.
3. This is almost exclusively been run 3, the Sand King. Unless you're talking about the Pudge 1, 2, or 3. In that case,
Yeah.
I think position 3.
No, I was just saying I like Pudge on either one of those positions. When
okay.
it comes to Sand King here with the Wyvern, right? Like you have so much potential to defend against the Prophet, so that's nice. Do you guys think that Treant could come out? Like, it's all right for PSG.LGD, but perhaps a bit too passive with the Wyvern. One thing that I need to say is I love the fact that they actually have a stun now.
Yeah,
That's what
I was
sets
thinking the same thing.
game.
I think it's really important. And actually, I didn't want the Treant because I kind of want them to pick another stun. If they can get something out there in the position 5 to get themselves another stun, I think that would be really good for LGD here. But VG, I mean, they're working with Avalanche Toss in the moment, Sprout kind of lockdown. I would think that they kind of need another stun as well. Like, you can only do so much with Avalanche Toss.
Yeah. Go ahead, Liz. It sounds like you were just about to say something.
What? I didn't even make a noise.
You did. I swear
No,
you
he
made a
didn't.
noise.
No.
I'm gaslighting him in that
No,
case.
it's fine. It's
It was
fine.
the
I'll take
reverb on your own noise.
I'll take this one. With the Queen, you do get a ton of damage versus Cold Embrace as well, right? So you're not safe in that quasi save from the Wyvern. The Wind Ranger definitely does bring you more control that you guys were asking for, and it's a hero that doesn't need a blink to bring that control, right? Like, you can have that shackle shot much earlier, and here it goes, baby!
Your mic is just maxing and peaking.
Oh my.
Ehome Pudge. This is exactly what we were all hoping for.
So I don't think that the rest of them heard that, because Liz is using one mic in Discord for us, BCOP, and a different one on the program.
Oh my god, his mic peaked so hard.
Yeah.
Did it kill you?
It literally just clipped out. Like, it sounded like you entered a wind tunnel of just yes energy.
Wait, I'll switch the mic.
I love it like this. It was amazing. I actually just oh my god.
I died a little. I was expecting the Pudge on the other side, but like Lizard said, the percentage-based damage means it was pretty unlikely that VG were going to take it. You know, the Winter Wyvern and the Death Prophet. Even if the Flesh Heap is going to stop a lot of the Spirit Siphon damage, you know, you're not Flesh Heap isn't always going to be active. It doesn't stop the drain going from DP's way, but take it on their side. And it is a solid hero. It's going to block a lot of the toss avalanche damage, block a lot of what Queen of Pain's going to do to you. The
Why-
Wind Ranger ult.
Why
As you can
ban
see there.
CK? Like, look at your draft, man. Like, you have so much AoE. You have a Pudge with Aghanims against CK. I don't know. Maybe an offlane CK would have been more of a problem. Not sure, but I feel that their draft is decent versus it.
I would agree. I think every one of their heroes is amazing against CK.
Right? Even the Wyvern with the ulti with all those. But okay, they decide not to play against it. It is a strong hero overall.
Get rid of the void too.
I feel that there's this point. I literally played versus CK last night, and there's this point in which he's really strong against you until you get like Axe Plate Mail, and then it gets harder for him. Brewmaster instead.
Ooh,
All right.
Yang Brew. If they're gonna go that direction with like a 5 to support Tiny Windrunner combo.
I feel like those Brewlings are gonna die real quickly this game as well. You're gonna have one Earth Panda running around lonesome. But okay, Vici Gaming's draft is solid once again. I can't take anything away from it. Like overall, they have the control, they have the push potential. It should be, I think, Windranger 5 and Tiny 4 with MP safe lane and Brewmaster off lane. That's the way I see it, at least. They could switch things up a bit and mix up their lanes. You could put maybe a Prophet versus a Pudge even and have an easier lane against the Sand King. Well, here comes Doom. A good answer to the Brewmaster, right? A good answer for Quap as well early enough, but mostly for the Brew. Like if you have Xingqiu, if you get that blink early enough, you're able to jump the Brewmaster, Doom him up. Suddenly he's completely worthless. So perhaps Xingqiu didn't have the best Doom performances lately, but that's a sick looking Doom as well on his side.
Yeah, it looks really good. Looks it looks like it's possible that they have a decent lineup ready to go with that 4-position Doom offlane Death Prophet. Mid Sand King is going to be interesting. I'm really excited to see how that ends up going. And for Vici, it is, of course, that Yang Brewmaster support duo, Tiny Windrunner. Neff, what are you thinking on these drafts right now? Who are you going for in your predictions?
VG just because of the Brew.
Okay.
I refuse to elaborate.
Sure. I'll take it. Lizard, are you going to give me more words than that?
Yang Gang, bro, but I'm not gonna give you. I'll give you one single hero, Pudge. Let's go.
Pudge, let's go. All right, so you guys are really toying with my emotions here. Like I said, I can't pick teams. That's
You changed
recency
shirts
bias.
again.
Yeah. I mean, I heard Lizard say this is a good draft for LGD, and I kind of hustled over to the other side of the room and grab myself a quick change of attire, if you will. So I did my thing, but I also always have Vici at heart. They're here, there, yeah, just in case. I get to be really biased when this is the matchup I've been waiting for, and this is the matchup I hope you guys are all gonna enjoy as we go into game number 2 here of LGD up against Vici. So it should be a fun one, and I'm hoping for a third game, truthfully.
I'm just gonna go into player perspective, click on Pudge, enjoy my. You
Sit
guys
back,
can talk
relax.
about it. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy it. That's it.
Yeah, free coaching session. Pause 1, Pudge. Very cool. I don't know. I think this will probably get shut down.
Oh, gosh, Avalanche on 3. That was actually massive. Ame's already dead. Yang getting first blood. Yang gang, gang. Buzz.
Okay, let me take off the player perspective, move somewhere else.
All I'm saying is I was talking up this Brewmaster, you're talking up the Pudge. Maybe switch over, be part of Yang Gang.
I'll switch over to the 3 ends. I'll be watching them.
The fellas.
Yeah, they really rushed that high ground. Like, I mean, it's something that these teams know about each other really well, and it's fun to watch these mind games early on. Sometimes they smoke up, they move where they expect a team to be. It's always fun to watch. Pudge misses up that hook. He actually tried to get the bounty, but gets tiny instead. That's how many? That's 3 for Vici Gaming, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? Or 2-2? It's still 2-2. Zinkyu got 2, Erika and Shalma got 2. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 2-2.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You saw the first blood just like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
I saw the plus 40 on the end of it as well. That one really threw me off. Wow. A stupid
So-
monkey brain looking for patterns.
Classic.
So how does this lane go mid? Sand King up against the Queen of Pain.
I mean, this should be quad favored, right? You're far enough back that you can't take advantage of the caustic finale. You're always able to get the shadow strikes off him. The only issue is you need to buy sentry wards for the lane.
It should be, right? Just spam the shadow strike with sentries. That's it.
Gotta hope
Then
that
again,
they have control.
we used to hate Sand King mid so much. Like it used to, let's just say, not do as much in the Chinese region as it's usually expected from a Sand King. And there is overall just something about Sand King in the Chinese region, not even only mid, even off lane, that I dislike. I don't know, it just never seems to do as much as in different regions. Perhaps just not a region favorite hero, like not one that you see very often in pubs or something, so you don't practice it as much. Even on this level, like, how many times did we see an offlane Sand King just completely fall apart, even from PSG.LGD?
Yeah, certainly Sand King it sometimes feels like it really misses the mark here in China, and I'm interested to see how Nothing to Say kind of plays it, especially considering the fact that, like,
Innocence?
this is now 2 heroes that Nothing to Say is kind of put together on this that have felt a little bit not his style. Ooh, gets the slow ward up top, trying to keep up with Y. I mean, the creeps certainly are.
He has a toss now. This should be a kill.
He's just gonna die to tower.
Yeah.
Oh, or yeah, Nigma gets credit for the kill.
He gets the credit.
Top didn't connect with them, but I think it's like a 30-second window, right?
Yeah, he still had time. And when you're talking about heroes that aren't necessarily Nothing to Say's style, like we were discussing his Pango as well, and it didn't look too great for like a couple of months even. I would say the majority of the last year, and then suddenly he started owning with it. So, you know, give this guy a couple of series and he just
Nami's in
becomes
trouble.
so on point.
The Cinderu burning, they've got the toss again, going into the Arctic Burn over to the side is Y, but they've got the Avalanche, they have the right clicks, they'll get the kill. Now, Ame not exactly having a fun time in this lane.
It's a huge creep wave coming to him. So he will get the farm, most likely, if Y manages to control it before the tower. Yeah, he'll get it. Plus, he's only level 3. Like, you need level 2 Flash Sheep on the Pudge. Once you get that level 2 Flash Sheep, you start feeling kinda invincible already.
Yeah.
So we have to wait. We have to wait for that to happen at least.
By the way, Lizard, what's your opinion on the fact that Flesh Sheep does not say how long it lasts on the tooltip?
I mean, that's the way it should be on every single thing, right? Like
Right.
Yank dropping really low, but yeah, skill based. You know, this was always a skill based game. We're not some League of Legends. Don't give us anything. Just give us
You should
pictures.
know.
Just give us question marks on spells. You know, you should know.
I like that attitude. It's a man who was forged for the fires of Dota 1.
Exactly, right? Like. We didn't even have stun indicators like up to, I don't know, couple of, what was it, 5-6 years ago that we got them?
Stun indicators? Yeah,
Yeah,
you just
yeah,
had to kind of know how long you were stunned for.
You just had to know, you just had to feel it. And now these kids winning TI like Team Spirit, the hell they would win it in my time, man. Like,
All right, old man. Get off my lawn.
Get off
Avalanche
my
up
lawn.
top. Xiaomo with the killing spree. Oh my.
Back in my time.
I remember not remembering any abilities.
Oh my gosh.
Does it look like? Okay, here's the second point of Flesh Heap at level 5. So he goes 1-2-2 on this one. I'm not familiar with the pause 1 Pudge build, but
Well,
I
this
imagine
is-
this is standard.
I think this is what you go on any. It's not even unless you're some support, which I don't see why you would be in this patch. But if you go mid, if you go off lane, if you go safe lane, you need to max out Rot and Flash Heap pretty much. So it's solid as well. It definitely makes the hero much harder to lane against.
And then it looks like he's going for Phase Boots immediately afterwards. A little bit of armor will probably go a long way here.
Yeah, he used the Flash Heap, so needs to be careful. Oh, okay. That hook.
Yeah, that hook was interesting.
Ambitious.
Ooh, avalanche and the toss.
Yeah, but
Toss
it's
them
Flesh
into the
Heap,
avalanche.
I actually thought that he might get the Wind Ranger because of that, because he had Dismember,
Oh.
right? Like, but
Flesh Heap stacks never heard of him.
Instead. So
And he was
lasting
giving
twice
us
as long
out.
on creeps. So he goes back to full HP by just dropping this member off of the Centaur here.
Meanwhile, nothing to say gets a kill solo on XM. I mean, that's
Thousands.
pretty wild that he gets that solo kill, considering that he must have caught him without a blink, right?
with the Epicenter as well.
Yeah.
Just gets in a couple of Caustic Finale hits, and Queen of Pain isn't the tankiest hero at the moment.
Maybe 0-2, by the way, but he's top the net worth.
He's spamming the Soul Ring. Like, keep in mind that this hero on position 1, you get the Soul Ring and you just spam meat hooks on the hard camp. So and if you get down low, you just use Dismember with the Soul Ring and you heal up completely. So overall, the hero just farms incredibly fast.
Jama again trying to set up to get a kill here. And a level 4 for Y and Avalanche toss. Cinder Brew has the cold embrace. Nobody coming to save the Winter Wyvern's life, and not even Pudge. Friendship with Y over.
Secured.
And there's the power shot kill.
Didn't have the mana to help out anyways. Did get at the moment the Winter Wyvern died, but I don't think would have been able to assist. Plus, if you use that hook to save the Winter Wyvern, you could be hooking a creep in that time.
I want to say I agree, because I feel like Soul Ring was off cooldown when that was going on. So he definitely had the mana.
It was on cooldown.
Ain't got no time for saving teammates. Gotta kill creeps.
Yeah, it could gain like 40 gold from hooking like an Alpha Wolf or something like that.
And he's going for this early Vanguard on Pudge. We've seen that. I've seen that with Black streams and Lizard streams. Everybody's going Vanguard when they go on this Pudge. And it's Vanguard into the Axe.
No, that's to be expected, right? Like you get
Yeah.
you get the Vanguard combos it with the Flash Sheep, just so much damage reduction. Then you get the Aghanims for the actual damage, and you become a beast, really. Like the hero, the Aghanims damage is a bit busted. It's way too strong. The Rot just cuts heroes.
The 220 damage per second with the 500 AoE or something like that. Yeah, that's,
And the region reduction as well.
yeah, good stuff. Visually, it needs to be bigger because that's just thrown me off so many times in games where Pudge freshly completes his Aghanim Scepter, and I'm like
They might
almost
kill him.
600
here.
attack range away from him.
They're wrapping around him really nicely from all
They're gonna
three
go.
sides. Yeah.
Ame on the run, nowhere for him to go though. Erica comes in, TP's forward, and they get another kill on Ame. Did for the third time this game, 6-1. They were looking for the +1 of Y, but he gets out with the Arctic Burn, going over to the east and making sure that he's away from these heroes. At 4 showed up top. You really want to bail on that.
Yeah, we really just need to wait for the Sand King to get his blink, and that's right now. Minute 9:30, he gets the blink dagger. They instantly smoke up They move towards top.
Shackle. Why Cold Embrace? But there's the Cinder Brew. They should be able to ignite it. Probably going to die and make the score that Brazil line, and that's exactly what it is. But they're thinking about going to the epicenter. Primal split already. Blink Burrow Strike comes in. It's through on XM. The Shackle connects onto Nothing to Say. Primal split really hasn't done anything, and yeah, I mean the Burrow Strike coming in with the epicenter to kill off XM feels pretty decent.
They saw him. I wonder why XM doesn't just blink away or move away a bit. Like, they saw him. Brewmaster started splitting. There's a Radiant Ward. You can see it on the stairs right south from Fate Beyond. But okay, they got a really decent kill there for the Sand King. Good first usage of that Blink Dagger. They aren't getting any map control though. That has to be said. Like, bottom tier 1 tower completely full HP. Mid tier 1 tower almost full HP as well. So when it comes to the Death Prophet, these exorcisms have not been... It's very early on, obviously, but they haven't damaged any towers.
Right.
Do people still use this to damage towers? I feel like it's exclusively used for team fights now, like maybe get a bit of damage off on the buildings now that it's been reduced by 50%.
I mean, it was busted before. Now it's just the same.
Balanced.
Yeah, now it...
Ooh, hook lands. Jalma still has the toss though. As Dismember, if he can get into range, and of course that's
illegal Dismember.
Very in range. That seemed like, yeah, sure. And
Everything
gets tossed
working
away.
as Ace Frog intended.
He has phase boots, right? So it makes it look like he's not really in range. I mean, you know, like I still need to keep good connections with Gabe and Ice Frog. I need to stay on the good side.
Yeah.
It's the
this is a TI caster here.
Yeah, it's the phases, guy. I want to go to Singapore. It's the phases.
Oh, sorry. Let me redo that then. That was very on point, just like this Blink Burrow Strike onto Victoria. They've got the dust on Nothing to Say. He's trying to TP out, thinking about the Sonic Wave, and throws it anyway, and delayed on it. Nothing to Say going to be able to TP out.
He barely lives even in the fountain. He had like Shadow Strike Urn on him. He also had the Cinder Brew. It wasn't that easy to survive.
Yeah, cast ranges are perfect in this game. Everything's been pretty much on point.
It's gonna be okay, buddy. All right, Pudge. He's Egnum Scepter queued up next.
Almost split was used. Zinq in trouble. They got the kill in a while. They'll throw the Doom out onto the Nature's Prophet before he dies. Burrow Strike with the epicenter. They get the kill there on Erica. Again, Nothing to Say though. Dusted up and while trying to find himself a spot where he can survive. Burrow Strike comes in and now the hook to follow it up. XM. Ooh, gosh.
1 second on the Dismember. 1 second cooldown and he'd have her. Unfortunate.
It was a nice hook there for sure, though. He's gonna keep going. I think he's gonna try to grab this Tiny here. No?
Oh.
Tries to go for the Brewmaster instead, but misses. Speaking of Brew, now has the gold for this Spirit Vessel. This is a big item in this game. You're playing against a lot of tanky heroes.
Yeah, versus the Pudge as well. Like, Doom, Pudge, Death Prophet, right? Plus the Cold Embrace. It's really important versus all of them.
Yeah.
I think the main target should be the Pudge. At this point, at least, right? Like, you really want to use it on him. Especially when he has this Vanguard plus Rot, he loses a ton of damage.
They found the Tiny. That was a very quick finger on the Exorcism. They really need to make something of this.
Yeah, well, he was right beside the mid tower. It's kind of like what Lizard was talking about. Like they really want to make towers happen with this one. So you might as well use it there.
When you look at their team, they don't have any other ways, right? Like they have no ways of taking objectives besides the Exorcism at the moment.
And there goes the Death Prophet, Faith Beyond. That's his first death of the game. Meanwhile, Y trying to escape the grasp of this Vici side, and it's now 12-6 with Yang dominating. He's 4-0-6.
And he's getting those vessel charges that are so important.
Man, that's rough. It wasn't even like full damage that came out from the Cinder Brew there, but that Death Prophet ended up taking like 500 magic damage from the Spirit Vessel plus Cinder Brew. You're just ticking down. So little that you're able to do against this one. I love this hero, man.
Brewmaster?
Yeah.
I love him up to the point in which he gets like Aghanims plus Refresher, and then my game is infested with pandas.
Yeah. That's half the fun. It's when you're playing the Brewmaster, because you can rat with it as well.
Well, they're about to
Strike.
do something
They're gonna look
about
to get the
him.
kill. They've got the Doom, so this should at least try to help them secure it into the Dismember, and it's the Caustic Finale pop on Yang.
Yang in shambles.
On one side you get Vessel Charges, on the other you get this Pudge with Flesh Heap. He has an Ogre Axe, 1500 gold, getting closer to the Aghanims. Just a couple of more minutes and he should be there.
As long as he has time to farm, right? That's one thing that I think VG's been doing pretty well with their lineup. They've just been running at them nonstop aggression. They've been doing a decent job with this with the Nature's Prophet.
They've
They've
been
been
doing that,
farming
but
really well.
still, LGD has the net worth lead. Like, Pudge is at the top.
Look, you have Jinkyu on position 4 buying a Midas. And he has the
Typical.
same amount of net worth as the Brewmasters, so I believe that's probably that X factor that's bringing the net worth up.
Yeah, I will say though, Ame being top of the net worth is still in a decent spot, but this is typical Xingqiu going, I am the carry now. Blink, Orchid. Big pull, Spirit Vessel on the run, Sonic Wave, and dead, but the Burrow Strike comes through. Now Toss on the Queen of Pain. They go into the Primal Split. They have the Vision on Nothing to Say. He's trying to get away, but there's no chance for him to do so. This is allowing Ame to get the farm for an Ags, but they circle the map. They kind of have an inkling.
A very good inkling.
Of where, yeah, a very good spider senses as Ame's going to get the hook. But they've got Erica coming over. Here comes Xingqiu. There's the blink as well as the stun on the 2. Looks over. Erica
Oh, good
shackle
shackle.
from Victoria. Power shot through. Exorcism used. Pudge in trouble. Dismembering, trying to survive. But eventually the Wrath of Nature cuts him in half. And Erica gets credit for the kill. They take out Jauma. They look over at Erica. Faith Beyond chasing. The Crypt Storm lands. That's going to be 2 kills. Doom, Xingqiu in trouble. Spirit Vessel again doing enough damage. They've got the silence thanks to Faith Beyond, who's keeping up with this Spirit Siphon. Faith Beyond running down Yang. Triple kill for Faith Beyond. Can he get a 4th here on Victoria? The Ultra kill is in his sights, but not in his grasp, as Faith Beyond getting a lot out of that, and it ends up being an equal trade for gold. Again, Ame now falling just short of that Ags, which he almost had the gold for.
It was a nice play by them. They managed to stall the majority of that Flesh Heap as well. So afterwards, like by the time everyone had come in, they could spam their skills off him, and the Pudge wasn't so tanky in the end and managed to bring him down. I think if they waste their abilities at first, they don't do enough to him, and PSG.LGD end up winning that team fight a lot harder than they did. Well, I'm not sure if you'd call it that one a win, but Faith Beyond is going to be pretty happy after that one.
Yeah, he picks up a good chunk of gold, has 1,400 now, ready to go. They've got the Gale Force of that first item of the Shard. Epicenter used, and Faith Beyond now dominating. He gets yet another kill. And they might even look to go for Yang, but Yang juking back and forth. Jauma also has this Blink Dagger to maybe Blink Toss back into his team. Faith Beyond, he's under vision. They got the Wrath of Nature to land, and now they're going to get this kill into Faith Beyond very easily. XM getting the credit for that one and taking away the spree.
Yeah. Aghanims has been completed now on Pudge, so they're ready to fight as a team. Fate Beyond dying there, they couldn't continue fighting. He had no mana. Sand King was also pretty damn low. He used Yules on himself already defensively, so they needed to back out. This Rosh, if they could contest it, if PSG.LGD understands what's happening and they run there fast enough, the Rosh already on 50%. They need to move.
They need to go now. They're waiting. They're trying to group up. They're trying to smoke. It's going to be really close. It might be down to the wire.
Getting it.
Hook. No. Why here? Winter's Curse. Not going to matter. They've got the Avalanche. That hits 4 heroes. The Gale Force comes in with a Sonic Wave. It's a symphony of skills. All coming in for Vici, but it only gets the
Nice
Winter
Doom, though.
Wyvern. They've got the Doom on the Yang. They'll get the kill on the Brewmaster. And even
And
though
another
it
one.
all lined up, they're going to lose another Erica. He's been hit by the hook. They'll get the kill with Ame having that upgraded rot thanks to the Ags. And it's a double kill there for him, too. That all lined up perfectly for Vici, and yet they lose more than they gain.
It's like on one side you have this perfect symphony of skills, and on the other you just have a guy bashing his head against the keyboard, you know? And it doesn't matter. Like, it was so important for them to kill the Doom. That's really what did it. Like the story to use the Doom on the Panda to kill the Panda, yeah, the Brewmaster. After that, the team fight is way easier. Even plus, you have to understand that they did waste a lot of their resources killing Roche, so they didn't necessarily have everything there ready for the fight.
It is a huge blessing they ended up winning that team fight, though, because VG ended up winning that, getting the Roshan and getting out. It would have been a disaster for LGD to just get run over at this point. Now, probably just time to pick up like his next item after this Egg and Scepter. And then he started to feel very scary. The Blink Dagger and the BKB he's going for then. Once you have the BKB done, you just like exist in the team fight and no one can stop you. And you end up doing so much damage just from existing with this Rod active.
Zinq, he might be the one that gets jumped on, or Fade Beyond. Tiny is close enough. This is a really nice smoke from them, but they don't have the Panda close enough.
Erica, Epicenter, they're on him. They want to go after and get this kill on the Nature's Prophet. Yule's up into the air, and Erica looking like he is dead thanks to the Burrow Strike and the control there for nothing to say. I mean, Erica not exactly having the best game on this Nature's Prophet. And on the other side of the map, you look over, is now the Shackle lands out of the Death Prophet, but they've got the Blink as well as the stun, the follow from nothing to say with the Burrow Strike. Fade Grenade thrown, they take the Aegis out of the hands of XM. They think about the Primal Split, they go into the Gale Force, that's keeping LGD nearby. They've got the Orchid, they have some damage. There's the Sonic Wave as well as the Orchid burn, but the Yule's up in the air and he's gonna survive. They've got the Winter's Curse, nothing to say. Finally hit with a 3-point shot coming in from Jauma. They look to add a +1. Ehome pretty tanky, but how tanky? Spirit Vessel's on him. Shackle connects. Of course, the 90-degree angle. That's very interesting. Blink stun on a 2. Ehome already dead, but he does not have buyback. Faith Beyond chasing these heroes, but the Shackle again! Victoria! Absolutely controlling the side of LGD with ease.
Beautiful plays by Victoria, really. Kiting the Pudge, also using the Shackle shot on him. Gale Force was really nice early on, just winning that fight for them. The amount of dots that they have, it's ridiculous. Even the Pudge that's extremely tanky does feel the pressure from all the damage over time on the side of Ichi Gaming. The Witchblade, the Shadow Strike, the Cinder Bro, the Vessel, it all adds up.
Yeah, it does. He ended up doing a lot of damage to himself with that rod. One of the bigger things that happened in that last team fight is the Death Prophet did make a slight mistake there on I think Beyond. He tried to throw the silence out to cancel the Brewmaster split, but Brew still ended up getting it. So when the Queen of Pain got back up, wasn't silenced, was able to blink away. He was able to get the Sonic Wave off and like free reign in that team fight instead of getting silenced immediately when responding with that Aegis. Tried to clutch out that, stop that Brewmaster ult a little bit too hard, even though it was like very unlikely you get that off.
Do you think the things change a lot once the BKBs are up? Like Doom almost has his. Pudge is kind of far away because he went for the blink first, but I have a feeling that the moment the BKBs do get there, those dots suddenly don't really matter anymore, and the amount of damage that Vici Gaming's dealing gets halved pretty much.
I agree. I think it doesn't help this build the Nature's Prophet went. The Witchblade into the Maelstrom. It's like magic damage. It's not being pumped out onto these enemy heroes from your right clicker, which makes it even harder.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Almost tags on Panda though. Like he's got the gold right now.
Yeah, but the only issue with that is that it gives you 2 ultimates. It doesn't improve your like quick team fight at all, and these team fights are going to come out pretty fast. It doesn't help with the Doom coming out onto you either. So I feel like this egg isn't a solution to these fights that are relatively even so far. It's
They
not
do
gonna
have
be a thing that
Lincolns
pushes
though,
you.
right? On co-op, so perhaps you can toss that on the Brew.
Yeah.
Looking for Victoria, looking for the Blink Burrow Strike, but the Gale Force once again pushing them back short on the Burrow Strike.
Hook. Nice attempt.
Radiant's middle tower is under
I feel
attack.
that with the Aghanims on Brew, the way you could fight perhaps is you just use this ultimate and keep the Pudge cycloned. He doesn't have a BKB, so keep him cycloned, fight with everyone else, and then deal with him a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's an option, because there are more important targets to kill anyway.
Dire's top tower.
The important target right now for PSG.LGD is Erica. They moved like 3 heroes to try to contest him split pushing. He realized something was wrong, and he ended up just like portal scrolling back to base instead of any lanes. Then he heads up top and managed to take that tower. This is one thing they have going their way that they didn't have on their side last time when PSG.LGD were running Nature's Prophet. You know, you chip damage away at the tier 2 towers. I think he had like Nature's Call off of that tower earlier, managed to bring it down to like half HP. He doesn't have the shard yet, but you don't really need it in this kind of game. He's been much more active in these team fights. He does have it keyed up as his next item though, so
He'll have it. He'll have it in a couple of minutes.
It's pretty late actually. I take back what I said. I'm gonna do a 180. I'm not happy that he doesn't have the shard yet.
Yeah, I didn't go Mjolnir straight up like Ehome did on Nature's Prophet. He's gone Witchblade, Maelstrom, BKB.
Because he went also Witchblade a bit early, so you get the attack speed from that. Then you get the Maelstrom. You get a ton of magic damage from those two. And the attack speed is obviously there, so it's not necessary to get that Mjolnir that early on.
Is that the money for the item shard right now? It still hasn't bought it out.
Maybe thinking about
Certainly
finishing
doesn't
off the
go
Mjolnir.
Come on, man. Get the Vader Trance, Jubileens.
Doesn't need to. Feels confident that they're moving around as a team at the moment. Maybe saving out on the cash. Maybe thinking of even going into the Lincolns.
It's an investment. Then you have Greater Trance farming for you and pushing the lanes in, man.
I have to say they're doing a really good job at keeping up with the net worth. They're playing versus a Doom with a Midas. They're still doing, they're only 2k behind on the side of EG Gaming. And yeah, Nature's Prophet does farm extremely fast. But between him and Queen of Pain, the farm has been distributed really, really nicely.
That means find out Titans. So Roshan respawning in 1 minute, by the way. So that's going to be the next objective. They scanned out on PSG.LGD as well. They realized that they did hit the timer just now. And Quap is sitting in this the entire time, so maybe they get baited out.
Gale Force again, pushing nothing to say into the side of Vici. They go for the primal split. They wanted to go 1-2 gut punch on this real quick. Unfortunately, not quick enough as LGD are able to reset, losing nothing at the moment.
And they do have a BKB now. It's flying out to the Pudge. Huge game changer, I believe, for them.
They have the second primal split available too.
Yep. They've got 9-second BKBs on 3 heroes now. So they're going to be more than happy to take this fight.
XM, Yang, they're trying to take back the outpost. There's the avalanche as well as the tosses come through with the Orchid out onto Innocence, but they caught themselves XM. They end up losing themselves the Witcher Wyvern, but they'll take that for a kill on the Queen of Pain, who doesn't have buyback. Jauma's going to die next. Now Victoria trying to help with the Gale Force to get Yang out. And that Earth Bear, or Earth Panda, is, well, looking to run. That doesn't work, by the way, Ehome. You're not able to hook that. They get him back to form. The shackle lands, but it's not going to matter. Yang on the run. I say it's not going to matter, but look how slow they are. There's the hook from Ehome, and the chase is on from Faith Beyond. Looking to get a kill here onto Victoria. Victoria doesn't have the mana to throw out a shackle to survive. He's feared up thanks to the shard on Faith Beyond with that Spirit Siphon, and they get the kill into Victoria, taking out 4 heroes on the side of Vici. It's Ouchtown for Vici. Population, well, XM, Yang, Jauma, and Victoria.
Yeah, just completely crushing them the moment that BKB is up on Pudge. The game becomes much, much easier. Queen of Pain perhaps dying a bit too early in that fight unnecessarily. Gets doomed, gets stunned as well by Doom. The Lincolns is fine, but if you get stunned by anything, you still die. I'm surprised they aren't taking Roche, by the way. They actually decided to go back.
They don't have an amazing right clicker, and the exorcism had just worn off, right? So
No, their damage isn't amazing. I thought maybe if they just all 5 of them, all 4 of them that were alive just started hitting it. They could, but it would be dangerous, definitely.
There's no
You
way
wanna go in.
that VG gets away with this, though, right?
Secretly going for it, or maybe LGD are aware and they want to wait for their moment to go in. Erica and XM are in the pit. There's just a second to go before they're in. They're looking for the Winter's Curse. It's not going to be in time. The Aegis is already picked up with the BKB being popped by Erica. And there's an easy kill onto why the hook was used. And now the Gale Force will not push back anybody on the side of LGD. It was close on the timing, but LGD a little hesitant and a little off.
It's hard to go in that fight because you don't have Doom. That's the biggest issue. And Wyvern is going in. Okay, he Innocence was a little bit late, but even if he was there on time, there's Lincolns. It's perhaps not that easy to instantly lock in on a target and Winter's Curse.
You have to choose the right one, hope that he doesn't press that Lincoln Sphere in time as you're going on him.
I don't know if he should have been going alone though. And if that's like the guessing game, shouldn't you have maybe Doom, who's got the War Stomp, Blink War Stomp with that, or try to make
BKBs as well?
Play. Yeah, I know, but you try to make a surprise play.
No, for sure. I meant Doom has a BKB as well.
Right.
So he could have went in. That's true. They just decided not to fight. Wait out the next fight with Exorcism, with level 20, with Doom, when everything is ready. It's not like this Aegis changes things massively, but this smoke might.
Shard wasn't even passed over to Erica, by the way. It was used on the Queen of Pain.
I mean, that makes sense. The Queen of Pain shard is very good. It's one of the best in the games. It silences you, come into the middle of a team fight. I mean, you can stop or dismember just by blinking in now. Or, like, completely botch Sand King's initiation, for that matter. It's good for so many reasons. I really like Quap Shard. But yeah, they're... No, it doesn't look like it. They're just playing defensive at the moment. Now, Innocence is going for that Aeon disc to be able to stop him from just blowing him up, so he'll be able to consistently get off ultimates in team fight. It's been a rough game for him. He's like 0-11 right now.
It's been a very difficult game. I completely agree. I didn't really see any impact so far from the Wyvern. Even the cold embraces have been just completely negated by the dots and magic damage and Vestal. So
yeah. You were right about this one thing earlier. You're talking about how later in the game, these team fights, Brewmaster, it's just going to be the Earth Panda running around. That's exactly what happened on the previous team fight. And, you know, we talked about this. The Egg and Scepter and the Refresher build on Brewmaster, yes, they'll give you, like, more splits. You can reset if they clear out, like, 2 of your pandas, but that's just going to happen again and again. I feel like you need something else that's going to allow you to have an impact in these fights.
Yeah, but what do you get?
Guard or...
Yeah, you could go for some AC, Shivas, whatever, but I still think that Refresher is the optimal build on you with the eggs, and maybe the plan should be to just keep the Pudge in the air. Just don't let him rot away all your Brewlings. Don't let them kill them that way, and then you are actually making use of that Refresher. You're forcing his BKB early, perhaps.
Yep.
I love how Ame went to try and hook the Earth Panda as well.
Yeah.
He was just like, all right, go.
Maybe he was... There is no way. Usually you click on the panda and you kind of know when he's about to turn back in.
Right.
And that's where you try to hook, but that Earth Panda was long and far away from being...
Maybe he thought he would end the ult early or something like that.
That's also possible. Maybe that's some like next level thing.
Force, BKB, Avalanche, Easy Force.
That's his BKB though, and it's got a pretty big cooldown now. It's 90 seconds. So he's not going to have it for this next fight. Maybe they want to try to make something happen off of this. At the very least, it looks like they want to try to shove this mid tier 2. Which is the last outer tower that they have. He still doesn't have his egg shard.
Ooh, hook on Erica. They've got the Dismember. They're going to lock him down. Faith Beyond with the Exorcism pops his BKB now. And there goes Ame's. Blink Burrow Strike hits the Lincolns. They've got the Epicenter going off, but there's the toss out on and nothing to say. He's already dead. Sonic Wave pushes him back. Keeps Jama alive, but the hook is hit by Ame. They've got the Gale Force keeping LGD in a bit of a precarious position as they get the kill on Ehome. They'll take out the Pudge, but Faith Beyond's the damage dealer at the moment. They've got the Orchid through out onto Y. Y's going to die again. The Shackle continues to land here. They don't call him Victoria, they call him the Warden because he's putting all of LGD in shackles.
This is a serious problem at this point. I feel like now they just need to focus down the Wind Ranger. There's way too much disable. He's getting off in these team fights. It is crazy.
Remember when they took Aegis, I said it's not going to be a big issue. It was a huge issue. Like they hooked the Prophet, sure, but he has Satanic, BKB, and Aegis, so you can't commit really. Because of that, nothing to say commits in a different fight. I mean, the same fight, different position, different targets, and they can't kill anyone. In the end, it's only the Tiny that falls. Meanwhile, you lose both of your main cores. It's a huge blunder, I would say, from PSG.LGD to even try and fight that. Aegis was about to expire, 40 seconds left. So maybe just waiting that one out would have been better.
Yeah, it was such an awkward beginning to that fight. Neither of them wanted to fight each other. Nature's Prophet had to change targets as well because so much of his damage is magical between the Mjolnir and the Witchblade. So he just didn't want to hit Pudge with BKB active.
Finally, Y with a Winter's Curse that lands on multiple heroes. They've got the Gale Force coming in. They throw out the Avalanche. They have the Doom out on XM. Maybe have the damage to get a kill here. Y dies again. Xingqiu on the run. Burrow Strike lands. Keeps Xingqiu alive. They get the kill on XM, but the power shot coming in from Victoria again. The Warden strikes. They've got themselves the Avalanche landing on a 2. They get the kill on nothing to say. They'll take out Y, who just bought back. Xingqiu bought back here too. Pudge is coming in, trying to TP forward to try and hold this game in some sort of a threshold. But the right click's coming through in a Faith Beyond. Here comes Pudge as the Dismember onto Yang. They get the kill out onto the Brewmaster. There's the Avalanche coming in, but Erica trying to survive with the BKB pop here by Ehome. He's the last hope. They get the kill on Erica. They'll take out Victoria, but they've got the buybacks. No more BKB. Ehome on the run, hit with the Orchid. They've got the lockdown. Outtown is back. The series is over. Vici take the 2-0 over LGD. Erica with an ultra kill to cap it off.
Bring on the Reddit threads. This team is washed. Confirmed.
Fluke.
It was a fluke. The last 10 years of Dota, when they were owning everyone, were just a fluke.
Look at the happiness.
Yeah, the 2-0 over PSG.LGD. No one would have seen this one coming.
No, not at all.
Same like with Ehome, right? It happened before Dandelion as well took a game off of PSG.LGD, so they're definitely not in the same form that you come to expect from them from the last couple of seasons, where they barely lost a series in 3 seasons.
Yeah. This is not the LGD we've come to expect, but again, we've talked about it, how maybe LGD taking a little bit off the gas, but nothing to take away here from Vici. They looked clean in this one, and it was a really impressive 2-0 over LGD. I mean, not many people would have expected that coming into this series. Really just a beautiful one. Friendship with LGD over. Vici, I see you guys. Non-bias appreciation coming through. And Neff, biggest takeaway right now from not only this game, but the series for Vici.
My biggest takeaway is, I don't know, this Nature's Prophet gameplay. I feel like it can go either very well or very poorly for you. They had map control the majority of the time here on... I feel like they did a decent grasp on how the map was both games here on VG, better than PSG.LGD did. They dealt with the Nature's Prophet themselves quite well with the Treant Protector, with the Viper building first item Atos, with having a BKB piercing disable on Tusk, and they played it very well this game against their opponents. Despite they end up losing Roche, they're constantly shoving in the map, taking buildings and pressuring lanes, and if you don't have something to respond to it properly, it becomes a massive issue. Even if you didn't have, the flashiness of the Wind Ranger in this game, or, the amazing early game that Brewmaster had, or the damage that XM had, it still was the biggest impact of this game overall, Erica.
Yeah, Erica played really well. Lizard, what are your takeaways for both Vici and LGD?
This game was slow and steady, build up to fireworks in the end. This culmination around the tier 2 tower was, for me, perhaps a little bit precarious, reckless from PSG.LGD. Maybe they didn't have to go for that. If Prophet is hitting your tower the way he is, and there's a Pudge on your team, you know that he wants you to hook him, right? They perhaps didn't understand their strengths too much in that last fight, or maybe they were just a little bit, I don't know, just not patient enough, really. Going for that hook when 40 seconds cooldown on that Aegis is still there, duration that is. Why? Why not wait? Why not defend high ground? Why not wait 40 seconds, then hook him, then you can commit everything on him, right? And he's dead.
Yeah.
It's a completely different storyline if that happens.
Yeah, it felt like LGD were maybe playing a little bit more loose than we're used to seeing them. Very aggressive. I mean, it's still the same style, but maybe a little less calculated at the end of the day. But Vici, for sure. I mean, the things that they were doing seemed pretty strong. And honestly, I want to say Victoria played out of his mind in this second game. It seemed like every shackle hit. Like they were, everything he was doing was perfect. Look at this.
Victoria is my MVP for sure.
Mine as well, 100%. Does he survive this fight? Like, that's out of control.
Yeah, he was the only one who survived, I believe. Ends up running away at the very end, just hugging the edges of the team fight, throwing in a shackle, did a power shot every so often.
I feel like Victoria was just breaking hearts in this game, like left, right, and center. You try to kill someone, you get shackled. You try to run away from her, you get Gale forced back in.
This was the fight that almost ended up going the way, but the Doom ends up going off before the Brewmaster gets off his split, and then they turn it around.
Real strike here. Look at Victoria trying to set up his markings, looking ready to go. You can always see the calculations coming in from Victoria.
See these fights, like this fight made me think, yeah, this game is... I actually thought this game was done at this point. PSG.LGD looked completely in control. Then they waste a little bit too much time chasing instead of going into the pit. Perhaps that was a problem. And they do not commit completely for that Roshan. Maybe committing for it would have been a bit better. Hard to say in hindsight, because you still didn't have Exorcism, you didn't have Doom. You'd have to commit without your big ultis. But yeah, it all comes down to this next fight that we'll most likely see, the fight around the tier 2. This one. This is, yeah. Nothing to say on one side, Pudge completely on the other. Wasted all of his BKB trying to get to the Sand King even. And then even he dies very easily.
You could see Ehome kind of does the damage too. They needed to find the right timings to go for this fight. Their Shackle again lands there. Like, the Gale Force is doing so much control. Like, if they just waited the 40 seconds, like you said, they have a better opportunity at this. And here too, like, they're defending early. They still have that bottom racks. They can defend them against mega creeps, but they choose to go without Ehome. I thought that was very ambitious. I thought that was like...
It's one of those... perhaps it's one of those situations in which we're tanky enough, we can engage, but if we wait for Ehome, they will already get out, right? And we'll lose another set of Raxes, so... But I agree with you. They could have waited. They had another set on down bottom lane. They could have defended perhaps there. Yeah, just a bit impatient for PSG.LGD. I come to expect this flawless high ground defense from them, but now 2 or 3 series in a row, there are games in which I'm not seeing it.
Feels just a little bit lackluster there from LGD, but ultimately at the end of the day, again, I just want to say that Vici played really well. I don't know. It's a big boost for this team that's now 2-1. We talk about how in this region, especially when there's 4 slots available, 4 and 3 is potentially your marker here for getting into the major, getting at least a tiebreaker's chance to go to the major. And all of a sudden, Vici, they've got 2 wins. They're up at 2-1, and you got to think, like, who's next on their list? Like, Vici already played Extreme. Yeah, they lost. Vici also played Aster and won against LGD. Now they have the easy teams yet to come. They've got the Dandelion, the Aster Ares, like, still left, the Ehome ready to go. Like, this is a schedule that kind of looks pretty good. If you're a OG day one Vici fan, of course, never changing your shirt at all to switch whenever they won and bandwagon it all the way up. you're looking real good. Like, I think this puts them in such a prime position to get to the major. Like, this is probably the best spot we've seen Vici in all year. And that's big, especially when the last majors were at the most points. This could be TI really at the
Are we,
tip of their fingers coming into the end of this.
Neff, are we gonna see an even score on every single team by the end of the season?
Absolutely. Next week,
4-3,
everything's just going
4-3.
1-1. I know exactly how I'm going to be predicting the matches coming up in this next week here. It's all part of the script, Lizard. We're keeping things exciting for the people.
Do you mind sending me a copy?
No. I was told to keep that to myself.
But that's the thing, right? Like, it's what Bikop is saying. He's predicting Vici Gaming to have an easier ride in the next weeks. But then again, when you think about it, like, which one of these teams is really that
easy?
easier? Yeah, because
Yeah.
all of them are
Well,
like very neck and neck. Like, they're very close
Yeah,
when it comes to the way they play at the moment.
everything's very neck and neck, but if you want to ask how they feel, we've got an interview coming up right now with XM, mid laner who showed off in this series. And XM, I gotta ask you the typical first question: how you feeling after this big victory over LGD?
小王想先问你一下，今天战胜老干爹之后，现在心情如何？
战胜老干爹肯定是开心的呀，因为他们实力很强，能从他们身上拿1分就很开心。
I'm really happy we can beat LGD. They are a strong opponent. It feels really nice to get 1 point from them.
It's definitely a big victory to get. XM, you had that big opportunity at Dream League when you stood in for LGD. Since that point, you've looked really strong. You've been growing as a player exponentially. What from your game do you think has changed from then to now?
就是之前其实在那个大家认识你的时候是 Dream League 的时候，你给老干爹打了替补嘛，然后从那以后的话，就是变成了中路一个比较强势的选手。然后你觉得这些年来你的成长是就是成长的作为一个选手来说的话，是在哪些方面呢？
就各方面更稳定了些吧，交流更好了一点。就中路从对线到后期、中期这种打团更稳定了些，然后交流更清晰了点。
I think overall, my performance is more stable. For this years and yeah, like from laning stage to the middle and to the late game team fights, and my communication with my teammates has been improved a lot.
It's definitely looked really good. Speaking of communication, who's right now for the team making all the shot calls when you're going into these fights, especially all the hectic ones that happened in this series against LGD?
那现在其实队里的话，是谁在做一些指挥这方面的，或者说决策这方面的这个队内的沟通呢？尤其是像跟老干爹打的这几场比赛，可能打的局势都会比较这个焦灼。
指挥的话，就大家都有吧，就大家都会说一点，但3号位就开局会说一些，就是一些细节方面的东西吧。
We all took our role in communication, information exchange, but our position 3, Yang, he will have a little summary before the game start and let us know the details for this game.
Nice. Is Yang still going with the dead Yang strat while doing this?
就是杨在指挥的时候能保证自己不是经常不会死吗？
那他的怎么说呢？就该死就死了呀。
If you get killed, you get killed. That's it.
Very true. Guys, you have any questions you want to ask XM?
You can start if you have one, Lizard.
Sure, I'll go with the fluff one. First, congrats on winning. XM, you're a famous player in the East, in the West, a superstar, you could call yourself. Like, what's the weirdest PG-13 interaction you had with the fan?
就是其实现在小毛的话也是一个比较有名的中单选手了嘛。那你跟粉丝就是做过的最奇怪的一些可能线下的互动，你有印象吗？或者线上或者线下？
没有吧，都挺正常的。
I don't have any weird experience. It's all kind of normal.
Okay, that's nice.
I've got one. Okay, I have a drafting question. I felt like a big solution to the Nature's Prophet from LGD Game 1 was the Train Protector. What was the reason you chose not to ban it while picking Nature's Prophet yourself in Game number 2?
就是当时觉得第一场比赛的话，面对老干爹就是的先知，感觉大树这个点处理的非常好。然后第二场比赛你们继续是选择一开始就没有管先知这个点的原因是什么？
第二局因为想好我们想选先知了呀。
就是，然后你觉得先知这个英雄现在？
就先知这英雄现在强度很高，就刷得快，然后位置1、2、3都能打，节奏起得快，打起来厉害。
大树是一开始就想好了。
对，大树是一开始想好的，就大树小强选一个，后面觉得大树更好一点。
So for the first game, we were picking from Nick's assassin or Trent to counter their prophet, and later on in the draft we feel like Trent is better, so we picked Trent. Second game we have the pre-plan to draft prophet ourselves. That's why we trying to get him, and we feel like prophet is a strong hero. No matter which position you put him into, he can play position 1, 2, 3. It's all very strong.
Nice.
And my second question to follow up that one would be, was the original plan for you to be playing Viper, or did you change to play Bat Rider counter the Nature's Prophet?
然后就是开始是准备好给你去打毒龙了吗？还是说蝙蝠这个点可能一开始有想过给你去考那个摇摆一下？
就当时一般，因为我毒龙玩的好，所以大部分都丢给我玩。然后蝙蝠的话，就是当时聊了下哪个线上好打一点，因为这把蝙蝠肥了厉害，然后就决定让他玩了。
So usually in our team, I'm the one playing a Viper, because I feel like my Viper is really strong. And for the Bad Rider, we have a discussion on whichever lane we're gonna get most for the Bat, because we feel like if Bat get farmed that game, he will have a really good time. That's why we put him into the offlane.
Okay, thank you.
You guys have any more questions, Lizard Nev?
No, we're good.
I got one more for you, XM. If you had to rank yourself within all the mids in the Division 1, where would you put yourself at this exact moment after this victory?
这场比赛获胜了之后，如果按中单的排名给自己在那个 S 级联赛里排一下的话，你觉得你自己在什么位置大概？
这个差不多吧，都大家前6吧。
I think we are really close. I will rank myself top 6.
Definitely a good spot to be in, and I think that's all of our questions here. XM, it's been quite an honor to see you grow as a player and see you rise up in the last few years, especially since that Dream League episode with LGD. Thanks for answering all our questions, and I hope you have a good one after this victory.
感谢你接受我们的采访，很高兴看到你这些年的成长，希望你以后好运。
好，谢谢。
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
XM, it really has been growth. I love seeing it. Every interview, it feels the same. It's that overwhelming. Just like you've been watching these guys for so long, especially someone who, like XM, who had that opportunity to shine and didn't let it go by. Everybody was talking about him when he came out of that Dream League with LGD, even though they took 5th, 6th at that event. Like, that was the event that put him on the map. I think a lot of people gained respect for him, and he is really one of the top mids in this region. Top 6. He said it himself. You know, he's staying humble, saying top 6. He's not going the emo route and saying he's an absolute god while in Division 2. I mean, this is exactly what I want to hear from XM. I really like it. You know, he played on CDC with Victoria, so like they have a little bit of chemistry, and you can see it in these games. Like these guys, some of these guys have played together before in the past, and it's really nice to see the growth in these teams, and then to have them speak about it. Like these interviews just feel really great, and I don't know, I really love it. But
The
guys,
humbleness
I
as
mean,
well,
what are your
right? Top
thoughts? Yeah.
6.
I was going to
Top
say the
six.
humbleness,
Of course.
not what I'm used to from North America. Absolutely no humbleness over there.
No mic drop. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's like because it's also realistic, right? Top 6, all of them are kind of even on the
Real
points,
close.
on the wins and losses. Yeah, well, obviously now they're a bit further ahead as they did win a series. He could have called himself top 1, as he is in the top 1 team, right?
He's doing certainly really well. I mean, that was honestly, from what they've shown, it was a really impressive performance, and I think that they've just overall Vici, they're a growing team. I think this change to Yang, and you can see, especially in the interview, the respect for Yang as a decision maker pre-game and everything like that, and it's a cohesive unit. It wasn't what he was saying was it's not one guy making all the calls. It's a cohesive unit making it in their proper moments. And Lizard, you have experience with that pro team aspect of it. Is it like, have you ever really heard of that? Is that really like a 5-shot calling kind of thing? Like, have you heard that before?
No, it completely depends on the team, right? I've heard of it. It just depends on what team operates in what way. Like when it comes to the Vici gaming, you can see a huge difference, right? Like with Yang, without Yang, it's not about it's not only about the play style per se. When it comes to the skill level of 2 different offlaners, it's about which one of those can be more vocal. It can be seen in so many teams, really, and it comes down to the right synergy and finding what works for you as a team. Sometimes it's one player just whipping you all into shape and order. Sometimes it's a little bit of a delegation of necessary things that have to be done.
Ooh, taking a look at these standings as the day ends, you've got RNG, and that should say Vici at the top, not in 6th, but 2-1 for them, 2-1 for RNG, and the rest are at 1-1, except for, of course, LGD now at 1-2, and RNG beat Aster Aries, who are also at 1-2. You take a look at Division 2 as well. Fusion and IG still leading the pack. They have Magma right behind them. Magma looking to do what they do best, come right back to Division 1 after getting dropped to Division 2.
That's like
Certainly,
that image where he's throwing Barney out of the bar, and then he's back in there again afterwards.
Yeah, coming right back into Division 1. And Fusion and IG are trying to stand in their way for sure. I mean, those are some close standings, and we're not really going to see, I would honestly say, we're not going to see a major picture for at least Division 1 until the end of week 3, if things don't end up being 2-2, 3-3, or something like that. Like, we've had tiebreakers in the past with China. I have a feeling the last week of this region is not only going to be barn burners in terms of positioning, but potentially 4 or 5 team tiebreakers coming in for multiple positions on the major. Like, that wouldn't surprise me, because realistically, LGD and Aster Aries, they're not out of the hunt. They're 1-2. They're 1 win behind all these teams. Like, it's certainly possible. Like Neff said, like the script says, 2-2 for everybody, right?
Neff has the script. What does the script say? Is it 2-2 for
Read
everyone?
it to us. Show it to us on screen with a newspaper in front of it.
Not allowed to leak that one, unfortunately. I was told not to share it with B-Cop specifically, otherwise he'd always know what jersey to wear.
I mean, that's what
you can message me later on at least,
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah. The people would know if you always had the correct jersey, B-Cop. I'm sorry.
I mean, I did today. I feel like I was always on point. It was very easy to swap back and forth, of course. I knew what to give you guys. But at the end of it all, you know, it was a good day of Division 1 and 2 Dota here in China. And I think for us, that is all they've written for us in the script today. And it is time to take our break for the entirety of the day and come back another day with some Chinese Dota. So that is it for us. For me, Neff, and Lizard, we say goodbye on this one and cap it off. I hope you guys all have a great day of watching some more Dota, a good weekend in front of you, and see you guys another time. Later.
成为英雄之前，你不曾拥有姓名。通向终点的路很长， 但谁也无法预知结局。有人潜心暗影，谋而后动；有人拼尽全力，克敌机先。没有对与错，只有速度是唯一的答案。奔跑吧，在到达终点之前。